In a world of remakes and remasters,
Are we playing for
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame.
Red?
Gone are the days of pods and cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
Hello. Is my microphone working at all?
I heard you. I heard you throughout the entire
Here we
intro.
go. Okay.
Truly.
It just wasn't monitoring into my headphones because apparently one of my kids was down here touching my stuff. So
Fun.
I turned it back on. Hello, welcome to the show, everybody. This is Best Gen, where nerds complain about nerdy things, and it's called Best Gen because only one of us on the panel right now is from the best generation, and I happen to think that it's better than Charles's generation, but it's okay. We've adopted him into the generation, and it's all that's the point of the show. We don't really care. We just like movies used to be good, and now they're not good. That's the whole thing. Okay, so strap on in. Prepare to wax nostalgia because we reminisce upon the days of yore while simultaneously complaining about the utter filth that Hollywood keeps pumping out of its sludge pipes. Okay, we're all it's a generation. Good generation, bad generation. Good movies, bad movies. Sorry about the wait. Everybody's late today. We almost didn't have a show because I was supposed to be helping my sister move in to a place in where we live, and my dad got too tired, so the boxes aren't even here. He stopped halfway and is going to... So now I have to help her move in tomorrow. So, Mother's Day. Yeah, we couldn't have done the show tomorrow either. So, Jared said he's coming. He's going to be late. Oh, there we go. Just got the text from David, which, oh crap, we're still in Salt Lake. Exactly where I thought he was.
I do agree with you, by the way. I think
show
I was born in the wrong generation.
Must go on. Honestly, like if you watch Homestar Runner, like we're good.
Homestar Runner.
Exactly. Okay, so we're not the same generation.
Okay.
But look, it's just like, if you want to become a channel member, you can don, the mantle of being technically a Mexican, and you don't need to, you can't be criticized, right? It's your DEI shield, it's your diversity shield. So much like becoming a channel member, adopts you into the BIPOC umbrella. If you join the show, you're adopted into the generation umbrella as well that we haven't defined.
Got it. Nice. I enjoy it, and I grew up watching a lot of the movies that you guys liked, so I feel like I'm a part of it.
X over millennial. Yeah, I self-identify as a Gen X. Okay. Better than flushing toilet paper. Is this a reference to my dream, or what are we talking about? Okay. Oh yeah. YouTube definitely censored. Oh no, there it is. It showed up just a little bit late. We are late. Sorry, we're late. Sitting on my wife. Did my comment show? It is now. It was like massively delayed, and other comments were coming in after it. So it's there now. We got that figured out. Anyway, Jared's going to be coming on the show later. I don't know if David's going to make it. they are still about an hour away from their house. So who knows? Maybe he'll join on his phone.
We'll see.
We shall see. It's a very busy week. These next 3 months are gonna be very busy as well, but I will do my best to still do videos, and the show might bounce around. We might have to do a Sunday or a Friday or a Saturday show. We'll try and stick to Saturdays for now. But there's a lot of things going on this summer. Anyway,
Yep.
we've got a lot to talk about, and we're gonna start with Doctor Who, because Charles and I are the only ones that are watching it. We both just finished because it's too depressing to just like watch casually. I just kind of like, okay, I got to go get ready for the show, and my getting ready for the show is watching Doctor Who an hour before we go live. Sydney says hi. Yeah, speaking of Sydney Sweeney, if we want to get political just right off the bat, I'm pretty sure this is fake. Like, I couldn't find an actual source for this. But if it's true, Sydney Sweeney is even more awesome.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Probably not true.
Probably,
What she's saying is true. I couldn't find a source for if she said it.
Yeah, I understand.
This is one of the biggest misjustices of the American education system. Is I only learned this a few years ago. Every time they talk about the Crusades in school, they say, "Oh, it was it's just generational warfare, right? The Muslims attacked and the Christians attacked back, and they were just fighting over the Holy Land because trying to decide who controlled Israel." Not true at all. It couldn't be further from the truth. The Muslims were constantly invading and raping and pillaging every surrounding country / city imaginable, and the Christian Crusades were all defensive, and there were only a few of them because they were more effective. So,
yeah, totally based. Sydney
I
Sweeney
don't
is
think this
fantastic.
actually happened, though. I couldn't find a source.
I hope it does, because I'm
So.
starting to really like Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, I highly doubt she knows enough about the Crusades to say that. I don't know. She is kind of down, like compared to celebrities, she's pretty down to earth. Like she doesn't come from like the same background, you know. She's gorgeous, and that's why she's famous. But like she works on her car by herself.
I didn't know that.
So
Yeah, doesn't seem like the typical actress.
So
All right.
I learned it from school. Turns out it was false. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, school might as well be r/political. That's how good it is. Anyway, before Jared or David gets here, we got to talk about Doctor Who, because we're the only ones that watched it.
Yeah.
We'll eventually talk about The Last of Us and Andor. And Charles, are you watching The Rehearsal?
I did. Oh my goodness, this was an amazing episode. I loved it. It was wild. The Rehearsal.
Okay, I don't know what this guy's talking about. Yes, /political is a subreddit. Is that not what you were referring to? If you were talking about something else, it is also a subreddit. So, sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. I had I had different teachers.
Yeah.
I went to school in New Mexico, one of the worst places
Which
on earth.
is
So
it is number 50 in ranking of the ranking of the best states. It is number 50. So we are literally the worst.
do you want to know how Doctor Who's doing in the ratings? It's not good.
I'd love to know. Yeah.
So we already talked about
Yeah.
episode 2 was the lowest. I mean, it keeps beating its own record, right?
We're going
So
lowest.
episode 2 was the lowest it's ever been. Episode 1 was the lowest premiere that has ever been, and then episode 2 is the lowest episode. It got a slight bump on episode 3, and now it's even lower.
Wow.
And we obviously don't have today's numbers yet.
Yeah.
It is not looking good. The last time the show was hovering around this number, it got canceled. This is the pre reboot.
The pre-reboot.
Yes.
But wait. Pre-Chutagawa reboot?
No. Like the reboot.
Pre
2009.
Dang. Yeah. Wow.
So
I haven't seen any of the pre-reboot Doctor. I don't know. I've seen them like 1 or 2 episodes.
how long do you think the break will be? I don't know. What break are we talking about? Oh, if it gets canceled? 10 years. Maybe 5.
If it comes back with
Okay.
a good showrunner.
Okay, sure.
If it comes back, I wanted to ask you, Alan, actually, get your opinion on this. If Doctor Who comes back with a good showrunner, do you think it's better to retcon the
Absolutely.
last few Doctors?
Yes.
If so, how would that be done? He wakes up, it was all a dream, or just never
Start
talk
fresh.
about it?
Just start fresh.
Start fresh.
It's. I think there has to be a gap now. Like you have to wait 10 years for people to want it to come back.
Yeah.
I can't see waiting 5 years, and I wouldn't come back after that.
I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't trust it for sure. Yeah.
All right. You're funny. You're
I want a
real
gay
real
fat
funny.
doctor.
Cool Maps. I want a gay fat doctor. That's the thing. I don't. I know I'm fat, and I don't want to see representation. I don't want to see unhealthy
Wait.
representation on screen.
Is he saying that a gay fat doctor would represent you better than a
calling
straight
me.
fat doctor?
He's calling me gay and fat. He's a troll. Yeah. Did I know that I'm gay? Well, that would be news to my wife and 4 kids. So it's the ad hominem is great. So I mean, you can say that it's a Nazi talking point. That's great, but you'd have to provide counter evidence. That's your ad hominem attacks mean nothing to me. So that's not an actual argument. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Socratic method. You can make fun of me all you want, but it doesn't refute the veracity of what I'm saying. So I was part of the when you cooked up the crusade. Okay. Great. Yeah, we're done. Anyway, Doctor Who is just it's doomed. This episode was absolutely pathetic.
It was.
Let's see. You sent. I have a bunch of articles too. Do you want to just talk about the episode? It was so bizarre, an absolute bizarre episode. That
I wouldn't even call it bizarre. It was just a big old nothing. I feel like nothing happened. Okay, no, it was pretty bizarre. I don't know. It was
if you're telling a story about stories, it needs to be a good story.
That's one of the other. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, this episode was a complete ripoff of
Like,
one of my favorite episodes, which is the star episode with the sun.
Do we think that this is an insult? Like, yes, I am a nerd. That's kind of the point of my channel. You can't make
Your
me feel
intro
bad.
is nerdy people talk about
Nerdy things,
shows or
yeah.
whatever. Nerdy things. But this episode was a ripoff of one of my favorite episodes, which is when Matt Smith first traveled with Clara. And they do it fantastically.
We talked about that episode last week.
Yeah, and that is such an amazing episode.
Where he feeds his stories to the planet god thing, yeah.
And they literally try to do the same thing. He's like, "Oh, my story is so infinite that it's going to overload your engine." Which
it was the exact same plot, but done stupidly. I was kind of excited first. I was like, "Oh, hey, look, we're gonna get like an original story about Nigeria. This could be cool." Like, I'm kind of on board. And then the story was, Africa created everything.
Yeah.
He went to Nigeria to find technology. You're like, okay, because that's what they're known for there.
They should have gone to Wakanda.
And then the god of stories, it wasn't the god of stories, it was the god who created every single god of stories. They all came from Nigeria, from this guy. He created Loki. He created the Greek, Norse, and Roman gods. Dionysus, Loki. Who are the other ones? He mentioned.
He casually mentioned how he watched the Marvel movies with all of the Greek gods.
Watch the Marvel movies.
What?
Like, this show has become so meta and so bizarre. Like it's just impossible for me to care about the show anymore. It's crazy.
So bad.
And
it dates it.
It goes to. I mean, the show's kind of always dated itself with like it represents the generation that it's airing in, which is kind of the charm. Like it's kind of like Bond movies in that essence. Is like you get like a snapshot of history of trying to make the same film, but like in a different era, right?
Sure. And I guess that's not much to complain about. I feel like it's not as worse of a crime. You're right. I think it being meta and
get some new material, my guy. We already did have a gay fat doctor, the fugitive doctor, and bring homophobia back for me. Look, great. Go have fun. Like, you can insult me all you want. Doesn't matter. Where were we?
It was bizarre that he casually watched Marvel movies with the gods.
Right.
Which I think I didn't watch the first season, but isn't he surprised to realize that gods are real or something? Isn't he like, "Oh, what? You're the god of trickery?"
No, it's bizarre. The show is no longer science fiction. It's about magic.
But like, even if that's the case, I thought that he was surprised to realize that gods exist. No, it's just a thing. The show is about a pantheon of gods now. It's no longer science fiction. Doctor Who takes on gods. Yeah, I've gathered that, and I think that's stupid. That's dumb.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, that's dumb.
So
it was never a science fiction.
I'm ignoring cool maps now. I'm not going to dignify him by blocking him because I don't care. He thinks I'm true.
I feel like that's just a bizarre statement to make. We've gone over this.
He has no idea what he's talking about. The show has always been fantastical. It is called a soft science fiction. Okay, there's a difference between a soft and hardcore science fiction. Hard is more based in the science. Soft is more fantasy-esque, but it's still what makes a science fiction is it introduces a concept or a moral dilemma and then basks in that for a little bit, explores the ramifications or the consequences of this idea or dilemma that is presented.
And I think it's
always been a science fiction. It's never been about gods.
My favorite example of that,
if it is, there is a scientific explanation behind it. Like the episode that this episode is ripping off, the planet god. It's an alien that's pretending to be a god. It's the same thing where the devil is introduced. It's an alien entity where cultures that has been prevalent for so long that cultures have used that. That is the source of the mythology behind these things. So.
Fantastic. And then my favorite example is the Banshee one. There's this, they go to a pirate ship and there's this Banshee that's attacking them. And then they realize, oh, it's not a Banshee. It's a nurse. It's an automatic nurse on a spaceship that's just
the answer has always been science or aliens.
And that's also so much more satisfying.
And now the show is just about magic.
Yeah. So. But it's science that appears fantastic. That's so much more satisfying as well than just gods, because it's lazy writing and it's just not as satisfying. It's so much cooler to have a scientific explanation behind it all.
Yeah. This again, I was like excited, kind of, as much as I dislike this show now. I was actually kind of excited to get like, hey, let's get an original story from Nigeria, and it was just it was garbage. Mm-hmm. The doctor's an idiot. He walks into the alleyway, sees the picture of the guy he's looking for, right? The Onoko, whatever his name was, sees his face on a missing poster, and then still just walks into the barbershop like he's not even investigating any of this. Just walks straight in, and then does the same thing later on, where he's when he's asked to tell his story. Like they've already told him, once you sit down and tell your story, it shocks you with electricity, and then you can't leave. They told him that before he sat down, and then he sat down and it happened and he acted surprised.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was dumb. You heard of Plato?
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah. Where is the evidence you are not a bear leather daddy? Yeah, let's just put this guy in a timeout. There you go. You're in a timeout. Not blocking you. You can still watch.
So here's the thing. He's claiming, he's saying, I don't,
taking up the entire thread. So
I don't. He sees, he doesn't believe that you're straight. That it's a fallacy to demand evidence when you're the one accusing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
okay.
That's right.
If I say that you're a criminal, you killed somebody.
Yes,
it's on me to give the evidence. It makes no sense.
I am a Mexican. Feel free to report me to ICE. It will be a very funny conversation. Anyways,
but I'm glad to have some differing opinions in the chat. I think that's fun.
That's fine. Yeah, no, I encourage discussion. This is not discussion. So
yeah.
This is an idiot.
Actually, okay. So I wanted to real quick, the beginning of the episode, the doctor mentions how the barbershop is the only place in all of time and space where he feels accepted.
Yeah.
Which in its face is ridiculous.
But also, like, he's not a black man.
He's
an alien in blackface. Right?
He has nothing. He has no cultural connection to black people. He's literally doing blackface. You're right. It's literally.
And he's like, I've experienced racism for the first time in my life, and this is the only place where I've accepted is this barber, this stereotype of a barber shop.
Which that's ridiculous because black people are not the only
this
people
episode
who,
was pretty racist, actually.
It definitely leaned into those black stereotypes. I felt like it was a little strong. I didn't mind because I've never been to Africa. I don't know what it's like, so I assumed, hey, maybe this is accurate. It did kind of feel. It felt like a trans woman.
They picked
making fun of women.
One of the safest cities in Africa. What's it called? It's the safest city in Nigeria. It's still not a very safe place.
Yeah, no, okay. I was gonna bring that up. There was this black chick who went viral because she left America because of the racism, and she immediately regretted it. And she went viral because she's just complaining about how awful Africa is. And
if you think the United States, if you think the United States is racist, you have never traveled outside of the United States, which
for sure.
we both have. I lived in Mexico for 2 years. Charles lived in Brazil for 2 years. You have not experienced racism.
No,
not you, Charles, but
so I not nowhere near to the degree of slavery and whatnot, but I definitely did experience very, very mild racism.
No, I'm not even talking about racism against you. I'm just saying racism, like where a culture is just allowed to be racist and it's okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like we ended slavery because we know that it's bad. It's still a thing in other places.
It is. Brazil's not.
Not
in
Brazil.
Notice it much in Brazil. I don't know about Mexico. Is there?
No, it's not legal to own slaves in Mexico, but.
Right.
It's
Anyways.
One of the largest territories for sex trafficking, though. So, all of South America is. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But no, like they're racist towards each other. Like talk about like Chile and Argentina, they hate each other. They are Chileans are very racist towards Argentinians, and the other way around as well. So, this episode was bizarre. Jared's here, baby.
Yeah, bizarre episode.
How's it going?
What's up, Jared?
Doing well. Sorry I'm late, guys. I keep forgetting that it's on Saturday.
It's all good.
What have you guys talked about already?
We're talking about Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fun.
You didn't watch it, right?
No, but I might be able to actually start watching some Andor, so might be able to join in that conversation a little bit.
Here. Well, the episode was really bad and really cringe, and none of it made sense. I will say there was one good part. I really liked how they integrated the like cornrows into the story.
Yeah, okay.
Which
I
is a true story.
Thing.
It's a true story. That they would weave maps into their hair and use that to escape plantations. That part was really cool, and it was used. It was used effectively. I thought it was the only good part of the story. How she weaves a map into his hair so that he can find the heart of this story engine. It's so stupid. It's a story engine.
That made no sense.
Jared, the show is really bad.
Yeah. On that point, though, that's one of the things
Also,
I love about the black community is their hair.
My beard definitely starts on my face. I am not a neck beard. I shave my neck.
Have you been getting comments that you've got a
neck
beard?
We got a big troll. We got a troll, and I had to put him in a timeout.
It kind of looks like a neck beard.
Oh no, it doesn't.
Yeah, it looks like the majority of it's below the chin.
This is my cheek. Look at this.
No, you're like it's a lot of it's on your face, but it looks like the majority of it's below your chin.
My neck is shaved, buddy.
All right, fair enough.
See that? You like that?
I can't.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Yeah, Charles, come on, you gotta.
Oh wow, we really hit a nerve. We've got some fun opposition in the chat today. I don't know who found this stream.
Wow.
You're welcome to watch, but
yeah.
insult me all you want, ad hominem, whatever. It's not true. Oh no! Here's the thing. Why do you think that this is an insult? Do you have a problem with gay people? Like, are you homophobic?
Oh no.
You seem like a homophobe. You guys are
point.
very accepting. So
Okay, cool. I will do both.
fun. Charles,
I
is too
am.
young to
I'm
grow.
Mark. I'm too young. I've tried to grow it out. I can't in the military. You can just grow out a mustache. It's not good. It's not thick enough to look good.
I bet you
so,
this is the same guy, just using an alternate account. So
yeah.
I can't
Well, welcome
imagine.
back, then.
I can't imagine we'd find 2 trolls in our stream to 10 people. So
Yeah.
my
Those are
kids would definitely disagree, and they've been
You-
on the show and the stream multiple times. So
You have presented
can
no evidence that he is gay.
Exactly. Yeah, you
What-
can't even see the cum on my face. I cleaned it before the show. I took a shower.
Oh dear.
There is no evidence that I am a gay man.
All right.
Okay?
Oh man.
There's no
Look at
evidence.
him. Are you saying that gay people have a stereotype?
I watch
And that-
Doctor Who. That's pretty freaking gay. Like, what's your problem? You are so homophobic. Okay? And homophobia
saying-
is not cool on YouTube. I'm
Yeah.
going to have to report you for hate speech. See?
Wow. No, I
Reported.
support you. Doesn't seem like it.
There you go.
Whatever.
Support me. There you go. It's definitely the same guy. It's so fun.
Speaking of actually the gay doctor, I was thinking, I had a thought today when I was watching it, and I was thinking,
I've repeatedly
they-
said I do not want a fat doctor because it's not healthy, and I know that I'm not healthy, and I'm trying to fix that. I've completely cut sugar out of my life
Good for you.
good for you. I've been,
because I'm trying to be healthy because I know I'm a fat piece of garbage,
well,
and I don't.
not a
I
piece
don't
of garbage
want.
at least.
I don't want a fat doctor. I don't want representation. That's kind of one of my shticks.
I mean,
I wouldn't want a fat
that
doctor in the
wouldn't-
hospital or anything.
that wouldn't be an issue even if you were. Like that's the thing. Like I don't care even if there were. That in fact that could actually be kind of fun to see
If you have a fat doctor,
Yeah, like why
I mean,
not?
no, he needs
as
to be a
long
fat,
as he's not
he needs
morbidly
to be
obese.
a fat gay doctor.
The problem that we have with the Doctor Who is these like recently is that they've completely contradicted a lot of the lore that has been
is fun.
represented in the past Doctor Who's. They have completely broke canon
Oh yeah.
and
What
destroyed the lore.
They brought back the I always forget what she's called, the dumb doctor, the fugitive doctor in this episode. Ugh, horrible.
I don't remember
So
this
and that's the
fugitive
thing.
doctor.
The fugitive doctor is the fat gay doctor. It's the doctor that existed before the show even started. It's a black lesbian,
Oh.
a fat black lesbian.
Was that
Um,
after? Was that after?
Oh, is that when they
Maybe.
they went behind him and he switched to a girl
Yes.
or something?
That is the
Oh,
fugitive
okay.
doctor. And this is from the timeless children storyline, which completely butchers Doctor Who lore. Yeah.
I didn't watch those. So
Oh, I don't even know when the Pantheon got introduced. Oh, more me. Well, it's been fun. I did see a really funny meme, though. We got Bad Wolf changed to Bad White Male, which has been the theme of every single episode this season. Super fun.
Okay.
Super fun.
yeah,
Also
I
sent
mean,
me
there's no
these,
issue with having a black doctor, but if you make the whole show about black doctor good, white man bad, like that's the whole show now. They're virtue signaling on virtues that aren't virtues.
And they wonder why no one's watching
Yeah.
the show anymore because it's so boring.
Yeah,
You sent me all. Maybe David sent these, but
I did. I sent you a lot this week.
The Doctor Who just delivered the spiritual successor to one of the 15 Doctors. To one of the 15 Doctors' true 10 out of 10 episodes. Is this referencing?
This is
Midnight.
No, so this is talking about Chutagawa's.
The 15. It's a spiritual
So-
successor to last season. To
Yes.
the 15th.
All it's saying
the
is
15th
that
Doctors. Sorry, that's worded strangely.
Yeah. All it's saying is I didn't watch it, but it was that one episode when the Doctor disappears and the Ruby is left on her own and she sees that one person from 75 meters or something.
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying that was a good episode because the Doctor wasn't in it and it let the companion take the spotlight, and then this one did a similar thing. And that's all it's saying. I don't know. I didn't know if it was a good episode. I also don't know if she was a good companion because I didn't watch the first season. Was she?
No,
Is she all right?
She's
bad.
her story is really. I think she gives a fine performance. I think the story is retarded.
Okay. I did think
incredibly
that she did an all right job in this episode.
No, I think she's
week's
a great
episode.
actress. I don't mind her as a companion.
Yeah.
The Christmas episode with the fish is fantastic. That's the Christmas story episode, right? Where he goes back in time and talks to his kid self. Or is it,
you're
talking
talking about Matt Smith episode? Where
is it Matt Smith? I think it's Matt Smith.
It's the Christmas Carol with the flying
it's
fish.
Christmas Carol.
That's oh my goodness.
It's a great episode.
That's another one of my favorite episodes.
It's a fantastic episode.
I don't remember that one.
That's a really good one. Yeah.
Doctor Who isn't wide enough. It's like he's intentionally ignoring everything we're saying and just being a troll. Because I just said I don't care that the Doctor's black.
On that point, I was thinking of an actor for the Doctor, Tramal Tillman. It's the actor for Mr. Milchick. I think he would make a fantastic Doctor.
Oh, he would. He would be a great
I just
Doctor.
kept seeing it. I just kept seeing this episode. He would be so much better being played by Mr. Milchick.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He would be fantastic. Yeah. I don't. I've never connected with Chutagawa's performance.
I think he's done. He's been all right. I've seen a lot of his, and I think he's generally pretty good. I can't say to this particular season, but I didn't mind last season. I thought he did all right.
There's never been a moment where I'm like, oh yeah, that's the Doctor for me.
I just feel like the whole story in general just has been lacking. I mean, the whole direction in general has been lacking.
I don't think that he couldn't do a good job either. Like, I think just the stories have just been awful. Yeah. If they gave him something good, maybe he could do it, but they don't. They make him cry in every episode, and you're like, what is this?
I disagree. I don't think Chutagawa ever had any good presence in the show as the Doctor. I don't know if he could. I've never seen him in anything else, so I can't vouch for him being bad. But I can't see him being a good.
The only other show
actor
he's been in is that Netflix show, Sex Education, about high schoolers banging each other. So.
Yeah, so I doubt he could do a good job there.
I didn't watch it because I'm not a pedophile. So.
Wow. Yeah.
I know. I don't have any evidence. I haven't presented any evidence that I'm not. Sorry.
But
guilty until proven innocent here.
Man, now that I thought about that, Mr. Milchick being a doctor, I can't get that out of my head.
It'd be fantastic. I would
really want that.
100% be down with that. I am so racist. I would love to see Mr. Milchick as Doctor Who. I am a little, I say that facetiously, but I am a little bit racist because I already forgot his name, and I'm calling him Mr. Milchick.
I did too. It's Tramal Tillman. Tramal Tillman. It's a bit of an unconventional name. It's cool.
Yeah.
Tramal.
No, I'm just horrible with names.
Tramal.
Really? Okay, maybe we should watch Sex Education. I'm good. I'm not going to watch the show. Okay. But it did have a lot of big names attached. It has the X-Files chick in it. It's got Chutagawa in it, and it's got the kid who played Ender in Ender's Game. Those were the names I recognized when I was doing my research. What is it? Butterfield. Asia Butterfield. Is that his name? Google me.
Not the one to ask.
Fact check me. Asia Butterfield
I've never seen it.
is in Sex Education.
Trudy Gatwood looks gay in this show as well.
Did you Google it? He is. Yes. He's gay in the show. What's the kid's name? Did I get it right? You're Googling this show right now. What's the name of the lead kid?
I don't know.
Asia. It's like Asia
Milburn?
Asia Butterfield, something like that.
Asa Butterfield. Asa Butterfield.
I got it right. Do your job, Charles. Goodness gracious.
Sorry. Oh, yeah. Asa Butterfield. He's cool. I like him.
You're on the IMDb page. Throw me a bone, Charles.
I apologize.
Not like that. Not in a gay way.
Yes.
I know. What's his face got real excited when I said "throw me a boner." I'm so triggered.
You're not gonna beat the.
Okay, so this is the spiritual successor to what episode? To a 10 out of 10 episode?
The 75 meters episode
To
where
the Giggle?
Trudy Gatwood was not in it.
Oh yeah. The episode that made no sense and they didn't. None of it was explained. Yeah.
Yeah. No. All right.
That was absolutely not a 10 out of 10 episode. So just for that, we gotta play the stinger. Here.
Screen rants. Bad takes.
Yeah, we're still on Doctor Who. We got sidetracked. By a troll for a little bit, but it was fun. We got some jokes out of it. We got some good material.
Yeah, I'm glad he came.
Yeah, I got some
no
cum
pun
on
intended.
my face apparently. So unfortunately, hey, there's sorry that I love this show with all of my heart, and it has been just pulverized into dust. Doctor Who brought back a fan favorite companion. I like her. I don't think I'd say fan favorite.
She's probably the best part of the first season.
Yeah, because she's white.
No. Oh, actually,
I'm a racist.
I do have to give credit where credit is due. I think the intro is pretty good.
Just
the
the song
intro
or the animation for the intro.
Yeah,
it's good.
Animation.
I like it.
I think it's good. I like it. It's got a little bit of.
I hard agree with this. I wouldn't call her fan favorite, but brought her back and completely botched the villain. Yes, the 4chan. No, that's not the right. The QAnon villain, which was absolutely bizarre. People don't act that way. His whole plan, which was nonsense. He starts streaming by lying and then saying, "Hey, look, we caught them red-handed because they showed up to fix the problem that we lied about."
Mm-hmm.
Like what? Like there was no point. They were trying to prove that UNIT wasn't doing its job, that it was lying to people that aliens don't exist, right? They're trying to say UNIT doesn't know what they're doing. Aliens don't exist. They're lying to everybody and just taking your taxpayer money, and they're not actually protecting us from anything. And so to prove that UNIT was fake, they staged an alien attack. UNIT showed up to stop the aliens, and they said, "See, we caught him in a lie." But they were the ones lying. It was so bizarre. It was like, what point do you think you're making? No one... What? It was absolutely baffling. Just horrible storytelling.
His motivation made no sense. There was no reason for him to be a villain.
Well,
his whole plan didn't make sense.
As a kid, he saw the aliens. He knows that aliens are real.
Made no sense.
And then he still thinks, oh, it was just your CGI has gotten better. What?
So yeah, basically this article just says pretty much everything you just said.
Also, I didn't watch any of the Jodie Whittaker stuff, so I don't know if they did a big reset, but like humans know that aliens exist now. There have been a whole bunch of alien attacks, unless they've done some kind of reset where like, now alien people don't remember all of the numerous alien events that have happened over the course of Doctor Who history. Like, people know that aliens are real.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a secret anymore. Again, I could be wrong. They could have done a reset somewhere in the episodes I didn't watch.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I understood it to be that in this episode, people still believed that aliens exist because UNIT is open about that they're anti-alien group. So people obviously
then why
still
is
believe
his
that
whole
aliens
thing
exist.
aliens don't exist?
I don't know.
It
make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
It makes zero sense.
It's probably the same reason why we still have people believing that the Earth is flat.
Conrad's big reveal that I think
That's
that
true.
maybe like if you're giving the most generous interpretation of this episode, I think maybe that might have been the point that they were going for, that people are going to disbelieve like in the face of evidence, right?
Yeah.
But like they did a really bad job. If that's the case, they did a really bad job because they made it seem like his motivations were very different.
Yeah, it's like a flat earther had faked the results, then revealed the results were fake and said that was evidence that the Earth was flat.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they do.
It made no sense.
That's essentially what they do.
That is the problem with time jumping.
I've seen so many things about flat earthers, how they they try to prove that there's no curvature of the Earth, or like things like that. And you're like,
wrong.
I agree.
Okay.
That could have been the theme of this episode, and that could have been interesting, but that's not what they were like. That they didn't drive home that theme. Mm-hmm. It just, so in context of the episode, his character just made no sense.
Yeah,
they could have used that as the justification, and it could have been good, but it wasn't because they didn't. So I 100% agree, because I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, is that what they're doing? But they didn't do that. So it was a horrible episode. And then we're still doing this fourth wall breaking Miss Flood lady. We don't know. She actually said who she was. She was like the Vindicator or something like that. I can't remember. The Warden.
You said it there. Yeah.
I don't know. I completely blocked whatever she did out of my mind.
It's just, it's going to be another thing like, oh, the stories give it power, and power is in stories. And that's why she's the Warden. Doctor Who. Is this a character that is, the Warden has been a character before. I don't know. I'll have to, I do desperately need to finish watching all of the old episodes. I haven't watched all of them, but
well, there's
before the reboot,
so that makes sense.
Yeah, like pre-reboot stuff.
Dang, I don't know. I've thought about going back and watching.
I've watched a lot of them. I haven't watched all of them, so
I've watched very little of them.
There's a lot of them are really good. A little slow, but fun. They're on Pluto and Tubi. Yeah, there's a couple places you can get them for free right now.
Okay.
The Warden is a tentacle creature? I don't think that's the same thing. So,
yeah.
I don't know if it's trying to reference an old villain and bring that back, or if it's a new thing. Doesn't look like it's referencing an old villain. Unless it's this tentacle creature with the Fifth Doctor. Who knows? I'll have to do some Googling after this. Yes. Doctor Who. Okay. Since we already got political, I did want to talk about not so much politics, but culture in general. Remember my whole thing of like, if we keep focusing on race so much, the only thing that we're going to do is create actual racists.
Yeah.
Like if we're so hyper focused, if we tell people that the reason their life sucks is because of racism, like you're just going to create racists. And I think that that's definitely happened with the whole the N-word lady.
Yeah.
You guys,
Yeah.
Do you guys know the story?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
A lady was at the park,
Unfortunately,
and a black child was. We don't know all of the full details, but was bullying her kid, was stealing from her purse, and messing with her kid. We don't know the extent to which that happened. So she started whipping out the N-word, calling the kid that word, and then a pedophile started recording her, which we found out after the fact. The guy recording the video was an actual sex offender. He started recording the video. She started using the N-word against him unapologetically, saying, just leave my family alone. And then she got doxxed. And now people are giving her a bunch of money to help protect her family.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Almost $1 million.
Oh my gosh.
Look,
yeah.
I think racism is bad. Okay? I don't think you should call people the N-word. I think that's I think that's a deplorable thing to do. I also don't think that it should be okay for your kids to harass people in the park without repercussions. So, do I think that this is bizarre? That $1 million... Guess what? I think a lot of the people giving her money are probably real racists that maybe weren't racist before. I think we've created racists.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are just sympathetic to her, saying like, hey, no one deserves to be doxxed. You're allowed to defend your family, even if maybe you said a word that I wouldn't personally use.
100%. I completely agree. It's just creating more racism. There's a very similar story to this where
you
there
mean
was
this
a
one?
black kid. Yeah.
You mean the kid who stabbed someone in the heart?
We're
And
back.
now they've raised $500,000 for him?
My goodness.
Look, I will say, she's probably not a great role model or a good person. Okay? I think this is less offensive than this. I think both are bad. But
So-
raising money for a murderer is a little bit more offensive to me than raising money to someone who said a bad word.
So what's the background?
But you know they
between
would disagree with you.
this case,
They
though?
would
In
argue.
this case, it was at a track meet. This guy has been convicted of multiple crimes. Like he has a track record, a criminal record. He was at a track meet. They've had so many problems at this school that they have rules, like they have designated tents for like each family or each team competing, and you are not allowed to leave your tent or go to someone else's tent. They two twin, I think they're twins. Okay,
I
two
think that's
white
what I
kid
heard.
brothers, maybe twins, did their race, came back to their tent. Carmelo Anthony was in their tent. They asked him to leave. He didn't leave. He stabbed one of them in the heart.
That's crazy.
I didn't know about the whole tent thing, but that's what I heard.
Lots of black
pretty
people
much everything
donated to her.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
the person recording the video was not the kid's father. He was a sex offender hanging out at the park. Yes.
Yeah,
Back to the other
that's
story.
concerning.
Yeah.
that's crazy.
But to your point, that 100% murder is much worse than saying the N-word. But there
Yeah.
are so many people who would die on the hill saying the opposite. They would argue to the death that the N-word is worse than murder, and that murder is justified because the N-word is so much worse. Was it debunked?
And okay. I saw a lot of stuff saying that he had a record, but okay, maybe that's wrong. He still stabbed someone in the heart.
Yeah, he still committed murder.
He still brought a knife to a track meet. He crossed state lines. Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we understand the full story, obviously, but
no, we obviously
I think so. So what I would add is that I think that sure, there can be some misjustices, right? Injustices that do occur with these sorts of instances, but I think that a lot of times they are misconstrued as being something that they're not. Like, for example, the whole thing with Luigi Mangione, right? Like how people
despicable.
Literally are supporting this guy that
he's an assassin.
Yeah,
okay?
he literally premeditated murder.
Look, the guy who he killed probably was also not a good person. That doesn't mean
not make it
assassination is okay.
Yeah, no, that's not acceptable. So that's the issue that I have is things like this is where they take these possible misconstruing of information and they use it to say that, hey, this is something that's good. And that's the hard part in just today's society in general is knowing what is good and true and what we can believe because there's so much misinformation out there.
And that misinformation, that hyperfixation on making everything about race can only create racism.
Yeah, and I think there are definitely some of those individuals who need to, take a moment to self-reflect and understand why they have an issue with things like, the color of someone's skin. But it's and it's sad that we have people that do legitimately feel this way, and that is an issue for them. Whether it's historically or culturally or that's something that they grew up with or whatever, but it's and obviously if you use words that are offensive, then you're instigating that, right? You whether or not she meant it or not, she was using that word and we all know that's offensive.
Yeah.
Right. So she intentionally wasn't trying to offend them.
Saying the N-word is bad. Okay.
So those are issues that people need to overcome, and we should not be supporting people that intentionally try to do that for sure. I absolutely agree, and I agree that the way that we talk about it is a big part of that for sure.
Yeah.
And I know too the interesting thing about this particular discussion is I know that on the other side of things. It's also hard for people when you say things like, I don't see color, right? Because then they take offense that they you don't see their uniqueness, right?
We should celebrate. We should celebrate our differences. No, but our differences are beautiful.
So it's not necessarily
about fantastic.
I
despite me absolutely hating the show, I was excited to watch this episode of Doctor Who because I was like, oh, fine, they're going to do an original African story. And then it was garbage. And coming out of it, I'm probably more racist now than before I watched the show. Racism is a spectrum, okay? And we're always trying to purge our prejudices out of us, okay? But if you have bad representation, what does that do?
Yeah.
It creates indifference. It creates intolerance. It creates exhaustion. Okay? Representation is not a virtue. Good representation is. If your representation is bad, that doesn't help you.
I think rather than saying good or bad, maybe authentic is more of an appropriate word, right? It should be an authentic representation.
Sure.
I don't need authentic representation of cannibals.
Well,
I'm saying we should celebrate. You should have representation of things that are wholesome.
Yeah.
That was why I hated that
representation of good things.
That's what
representation of good things.
We talked about Sinners. 2 weeks ago, right? I loved the scene where they go through the music of the past and the history. It's like, wow, this is really cool. And then they showed a black lady twerking, and I was like, what? Like this is what we're celebrating?
Yeah.
That's bad representation. It was also authentic.
That's true.
And I don't think that's something you should celebrate.
Yeah, I misunderstood that.
I know. I think you're coming from a good place. I just think that the implications of that statement cover more than you realize. And I don't think.
I agree. But the issue with this though, with this argument is that you have to have a good understanding of what is wholesome and good, right, versus what isn't.
Yep. The other issue with representation is when they virtue signal. I think it's the lesser issue than what you guys have already mentioned, but it bothers me a lot when they virtue signal and say, "Oh, look at us, we're so progressive, we're so amazing because we casted these gay black actors who's not good. He's not a good actor, but they're virtue signaling in it at the sacrifice of the show."
It's the opposite of what Martin Luther King wanted. He wanted us to be judged by the content of our character, not the color of our skin. And that's what this episode of it all comes back to this episode of Doctor Who. We've solved racism, guys. If you have something that's representative and it's not a good thing, it makes people think less of what you're trying to represent. If you have an all-black episode, right? An episode about Nigeria, and it's garbage, I'm going to come out of it thinking less of Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
So it was never about, yes, exactly. When they made female Doctor Who, it was about her being a female rather than about her being the Doctor. And they did the same thing with this episode. It was all about racism. And you're like, cool. I don't care. Can we stop talking about race, please?
Yeah, I agree. It is hard,
but it's crazy that
so heavy-handed.
We're the ones that get called racist for not wanting to hyperfixate on it.
Yeah, actually, so that brings up that one YouTube that came out probably a year and a half ago or something like that, where it was literally them talking about how like it's the same thing for white, right? Like there's a you can be racist against white people. Essentially, it's like I guess what I'm trying to say is that like
I don't know what
it goes for both sides, right? Like a lot of times
people claim you can't be racist against white people because
but you absolutely can, right? Like you're still being judgmental of a person because of the color of their skin.
You can do it. Like, go ahead. Be racist against white people, guys.
They don't
often you shouldn't do it.
Acknowledge that part of the argument, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's
But
I was having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and they were saying it's because racism only applies to marginalized, people who have already been discriminated against, and obviously, if you start discriminating against a certain people, then they fall in that category of
the way that they get around it. The way that it's explained with critical race theory is that racism has to come from a position of power in order for it to exist. And so white people are the only ones who are capable of being racist because we have all the power.
I mean,
sure. Even if you go by their definition, though, then whatever they're doing to white people, if it's not called racism, whatever they're doing to white people is still wrong. It is still morally wrong, even if you don't call it racism. It's still wrong.
But there's also an argument to be made, like, okay, what's the actual percentage of black people in this country versus the percentage of representation that they get on screen? It is wildly disproportionate. So you could make the argument that they have a lot more power than we do.
Yeah, I mean, it depends
Yeah.
on how you look at it, right? Like what statistics, I mean, what lens you're using to look at the situation.
Are people trying to make LDX? No, so LDX. That means it's kind of a movement on Twitter of ex Mormons. That's what, or either that or
People who've left the church,
or people. I can't remember if it's. I don't know. I don't like acronyms.
This is the first I've heard
It's
of it.
either people who are no longer members of the church or members of the church on X. So
That
it could be.
doesn't-
I don't know. I know I've seen it before.
maybe
I
it's
think
like
I think it's a
Xmas?
dumb. I think
Like-
it's a dumb acronym. Okay.
maybe
So-
the X stands for Christ, just like it does in Xmas or Christmas.
No. It's whatever it is. It's not. It's not a Latin X thing. It's either one of those two, which unfortunately are the polar opposites of each other. So it's either X members or members on X.
That's what I would guess it was. Is the first one.
So I think it's actually
Yeah,
the
I
latter.
would've-
I think it's actually the latter. I think it's just a
Really?
community of members of the church on X.
That's ridiculous.
I think it's silly. Yeah,
That is silly.
either
Doesn't make
way.
any sense at all.
I don't like it.
Whatever. Yeah, that's the first I've heard of that.
It's not Latin X, which
All right, I'm
is
gonna ask
extremely offensive to actual Latins. So, and it sounds like you're saying Kleenex, Latinx. I hate it. So you want to talk about nerdy stuff again? Like,
Are we done with Doctor Who?
I'm done with Doctor Who. It was a garbage episode.
Yeah. Was there any more articles that you had?
I've got lots of articles. David
Doctor
sent me a
Who, I
bunch,
meant.
and you sent me a bunch, and I don't remember whose is whose. Did you send me this one? Disney fans
Disney fans.
outraged over huge character change in Lilo
No,
and
I did
Stitch
not.
live-action remake, much like Snow White. I didn't read it. What is the change?
I didn't send you this one.
That Stitch is this that they're not brown enough? Is that what it was? They're too white?
Probably.
I thought
I've
they
heard
were
that
actually-
before.
I heard a lot of people were actually excited about how they were adapting it. It actually looked
Honestly,
pretty good.
I've heard.
the little bit that we saw of the little girl in the trailer, I think she's fantastic.
Yeah, it looks good to me.
It
looks
From what I've
good.
seen.
I know there
I'm
was
gonna watch it.
backlash against the older sister. They're like, she's not brown enough. She's hashtag too white. They're like, what? But she's literally a native Hawaiian. Like, what do you want? They're not. Do I have to read this whole thing?
If David is the one that sent you this, you might want to.
We'll bring it back later.
I was asking if you had any more articles of Doctor Who. Before we
Oh
left
no,
the
no, no! There's no
subject.
more Doctor Who. But the after credit scene in Thunderbolts was filmed on the set of Avengers: Doomsday, by the Russo brothers. Which
I heard it's not Thunderbolts anymore. I heard it's the
it's the
Avengers.
No,
newest.
it's
It's
the
the
new
new
Avengers.
Avengers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't.
I thought that was silly because literally it's like after it's already launched, like it's in theaters for a week, and then they're like, oh wait, it's actually not called Thunderbolts.
I don't think it's a bad gimmick. I think that's actually kind of clever marketing. Oh, we were going to call ourselves the Thunderbolts, except it's actually the New Avengers. I think the problem with it is choosing the New Avengers because people are going to be thinking, oh, wait, this is... Here's the problem. If your audience still consisted of comic book fans, wouldn't be a problem because they would know the New Avengers is a different group. It's not the Avengers. There's a group called the New Avengers. Okay. Problem is, none of Disney Marvel, none of the MCU fans left are comic book fans, and so now you're left with normies as your audience. Very few of them are left, right? And they're not gonna know the difference between the Avengers and the New Avengers. Also, my problem with it is that if you include both teams, both the Thunderbolts and the New Avengers, only one of these characters is in either of those teams.
Yeah.
That's just
I'm of the latter group that you mentioned. I'm pretty much a normie when it comes to Marvel. I've only seen the movies, but I was watching Shad's video on it, and that's what his biggest complaint, I think, is that they have nothing to do with the comic.
I guess they changed their name to the New Avengers in the post-credit scene.
Okay.
So it's also a spoiler for anyone who hasn't been able to see the movie yet. I don't think it's the kind of spoiler that actually affects the enjoyment of the film, though. So I think it's kind of a clever marketing gimmick, which would have been better served on a better movie.
I still haven't seen it. I'm probably going to watch it sometime. See if it's
looks interesting.
All right.
I'm not watching it in theaters. I just don't care. Don't care.
Yeah, I'm waiting
anymore,
until
man.
it.
They killed my darlings.
Yeah.
Gargoyles.
Yes. Sorry, I haven't actually read the whole thing, but live action Gargoyles would be dope.
Oh, I never saw this. Was it a show
But it's Disney, though.
Yeah.
Live action Gargoyles could be dope. Is it
dope.
going to be dope if it's made right now? I
would love to see that thing on HBO. If it was on HBO, that would excite the crap out of me.
It's Disney.
Yeah.
It's a Disney Channel original animation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's supposed to be fun. Maybe they hope that with like the whole so Disney, that it's more.
The guy who's making it is just a schlock horror director. That's his body of work. I don't know if that's. Okay. I haven't seen any of these movies. I've heard Until Dawn is a complete waste of space. Yeah. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen Screenplay.
He did it.
Don't give me writer. Is he just a writer? Producer? He's only directed Salem's Lot and Annabelle Comes Home, the third Annabelle movie. That's the Conjuring cinematic universe, right? Hi guys. Hi Norm Al guy. It's normal guy. Okay, you got me.
Normal guy.
I got it. Yeah, it's modern day Disney. Yikes. It's been in development for 2 decades. Yeah, this is in and out, right? This is I think it's actually getting made now, and I am terrified. So he's only directed 2 movies. He's written some of these. I enjoyed
it always
chapter
kind
2.
Of have more of a dark tone to it. Like it was always kind of darker. So like
the best thing he's got. Look, the best thing he's got on here is that he wrote the screenplays for It and It Chapter 2. The problem is the directing and the cinematography is why those movies are good. Like the story is Stephen King wrote the story, right?
Yeah.
So he only did so much with the screenplay. What's wrong with modern Disney? Way better than old Disney. I don't know what Disney you've been watching, normal guy, but they ruined Star Wars. They ruined the MCU. They've tanked every franchise that they've
all
touched.
The live actions.
So it's been a long time since Disney has made me feel anything inside. So used to love Disney.
Used to be fantastic.
I want this to be good. I love Gargoyles.
It's one of my favorites growing up.
Oh, yikes. I don't know.
We'll have to review it.
Andor is great. Great? Andor is great. It's communist propaganda. It's Life of Young Stalin. Disney did that. Okay. I don't know if this is parody or not. I don't. Andor was very, very boring for these last 6 episodes. These 3 latest episodes were watchable, but I don't think it was worth the trouble.
Are they the last 3, or are there more?
There's 3 more after this. So we could move into Andor.
I still haven't seen it.
Is it just me that's watching Andor right now?
Yeah, I might try to get into it though.
Did you know Andor season 2 has a secret 4th episode?
There's a normal 4th episode though, isn't there?
No. But of this, because they do 3 episodes a week. Okay.
Okay,
So there's a secret 4th episode,
I see.
which is just an episode of Star Wars Rebels.
Great.
That's not. Just say, hey, if you want, you
Was it like
can
a
also
crossover?
watch this episode of Star Wars Rebels to watch more of Mon Mothma's speech. Okay. To the rest, she gives a speech to the Empire, and then this episode is about Andor getting her out safely after she calls Palpatine a monster, and then she gives a speech to the Rebels, which was on Star Wars Rebels. So that's the secret 4th episode. I hate
Nice.
Screen Rant. It's such a dumb. It's usually just
That's
if they
Screen
would,
Rant for you.
honestly, half of the time it's just if they would reword their headlines, I wouldn't mind so much.
They're good on the clickbait, aren't they?
Oh, okay. It's he's back. Gay fat nerds, everybody.
Hey, I was wondering where he went because I haven't
That's
seen
what it is.
any.
I have
of,
unlimited accounts. I work for Palantir. Good luck.
I see.
I'm happy to have him. I don't mind.
No, I don't. Look, I have no problem talking with people who disagree with me. Heck, I had other Jared on the show, and we didn't kick him off the show. He's just too busy to come on anymore. But we disagree with probably like 80% of our opinions. We clash
Most
heads
of
on.
the time, yeah.
And I didn't block normal guy. I didn't block you. I muted you, put you in timeout because I would rather read the comments from my normal viewers. But if you don't flood you can bring multiple accounts. It's fine. I noticed you had nothing to say when we were talking about actual racism and how racism is bad because that didn't fit your narrative that I am a white supremacist Nazi. Okay? I'm sorry. I have no problem with you watching my stream. It can only help the algorithm. I muted you for a little bit because I wanted to be able to read comments from the people who are actually trying to have a conversation.
Normal guy left the U.S. for a first world country.
I didn't remove him. I put both of his previous accounts in timeout. And I will put this one in timeout if he floods the comments. This isn't a bad rate right now, though.
Yeah, that's good for now. Well, I'm curious, normal guy, what first world country you went to.
Sorry, what did I miss something?
Yeah, his latest mess. He said he thinks the U.S. is the empire, and he's glad he left it for a first world country.
Yes, the empire that promotes freedom of speech and freedom of religion. That empire. Yeah, you're pretty clueless, my guy. Make fun of Jared's kindness all you want. Mark, it will help tone down the gay rhetoric. He left to North Korea. All right, so we're just having fun now. Yeah, so these episodes were good.
I may be following you there. I haven't watched any of them, so I'm kind of like, I've got a lot I got to catch up on if I want to do
These
this
last
thing.
3 episodes were watchable. The problem is the first 6 episodes are excruciatingly boring and hard to get through. I also think that the hype for these 3 newest episodes it's a little overrated. Like people were blowing up on Twitter saying, "Wow, this is the best thing we've ever seen. Please give shoot, I can't remember his name. The guy the Born Identity guy. The guy who's making this. What's his name? Whatever. They're saying give him Knights of the Old Republic because these episodes were so great. They were good. I enjoyed them. I also think they kind of had the same problem that the season 1 finale had, which was they lacked a little bit of direction. Like season 1 was pretty good. The first 3 episodes were kind of weak. Then it got really, really good. And then it was building up to this finale that we all were kind of just confused by, right? Like it was just kind of people wandering around aimlessly on screen while things were going on around them, which I get. Maybe that's the point. It was like kind of chaos. Like, hey, this rebellion causes chaos and not everything's going on. It's just hard to follow thematically with, half of the characters, I didn't even know why they were in that episode, right?
Yeah.
This episode kind of felt similar to that. It was better. It was way better than the season 1 finale, but it had a similar problem with half of the episode with the massacre on Gorman, was just people just looking around doing nothing. And then after the chaos started, some people were making choices where you're like, I don't know why you would make this choice. It just kind of felt a little bit aimless, significantly less aimless than the season 1 finale, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to.
Okay. Well, hopefully this season finale has a little bit more direction.
Yeah, no, like these episodes were good. I don't think that they were, blow you out of the water fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't think they were as good as people on Twitter were saying they were.
I mean, that's kind of how the
watchable.
first season was too, if I remember. It kind of starts out slow, right? Like you get a lot of background, and then you jump over to them meeting the rebels, and
right.
They're like, oh yeah, we're planning this raid in a couple days or whatever.
Yeah, no, like it's fine. It can be slow.
It definitely is slow. And we've talked about this sort of thing too.
But this season 2 was 6 episodes of nothing happening for a big explosion. But it was a lot of buildup.
Yeah,
it was really slow.
Yeah. Well, and that's the hard thing too. Probably like releasing things in sets of 3s, because it's like you would hope that there's these sorts of climaxes every 3
and
episodes.
Then there wasn't ever a climax.
Billowing, but yeah, when it's not, because that's the issue, right? Is when it doesn't do that. Like so in the 3 episode arc, then like it then becomes a 6 episode arc or a 9 episode arc, where now you're waiting for this climax.
Yeah.
If you're not successfully building on these 3,
and they are an hour long.
pairs.
These episodes are like I think the shortest one is like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Most of them are an hour long. That's 6 hours. Well, 9 hours to get like, okay, that was exciting.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
That is
tough.
That's definitely an issue, especially when you consider movies.
Like
you can do that in 3.
I was done. I was done watching the show. I was like, this has been 6 episodes of boring. The only reason I watched these 3 episodes is because people on Twitter were saying, wow, it was really good. I'm like, okay, I'll give it one more chance.
Yeah. That's good to know. It's good to know. Hopefully it can finish strong, I guess.
You don't like it because you live in the Empire. Crew cut, bottom screen, you aiming high, gonna do the right thing one day and defect to North Korea. Yeah. That we have all spent time living outside of the United States. Jared lived in Spain for 2 years. Charles lived in Brazil. I lived in Mexico for 2 years. So good. Again,
America's fantastic. I love it.
You were wrong.
So proud to be American.
Yes. America doesn't... I agree. See, here's the thing. We are saying the same thing. And you don't even realize it. I think it's very dangerous. The road that we are headed on right now in America, I think they're heading down the road of taking away free speech. I am terrified of it. It's still better than any other country that exists, because in Europe you can get arrested for memes, and in Canada you can the same. So
in Brazil you can get arrested for memes. They just
yep. So was it worth the 6 episodes of boring? I don't think so. I don't think it's worth it.
See that's always hard because, and I will add too with this whole rhetoric is like you got to realize that there's watching these shows like the moment they come out, but because they're being streamed, they're also being on the streaming service for several years afterwards, right?
Uh-huh.
And so if it gets to the point where it feels like those 6 episodes aren't even worth getting through the rest of the season, then that makes it hard to even start for people that haven't committed to that yet, and like so like we've talked about pacing before, how pacing is so important in your series,
Right.
and this is just a prime example. Like I haven't seen it obviously, but if this is absolutely true, like then that's
that's the biggest problem with this whole we're releasing 3 episodes every week, and it shows just how far we've regressed with movies and television. You used to have to be entertaining every single week, right? Or people would stop watching the show. And now they think, oh, we have streaming, so it's okay to have like a 3-episode arc where it's... And I to some point, I agree. You can have 2 boring episodes if it's building up to something exciting, Like you can I don't mind a slow burn, okay? There's lots of examples where that does work. Like House of the Dragon, I think is a good example of a slow burn. I enjoyed season 2 more than other people did. It wasn't as strong as season 1, but season 1 was absolutely a slow burn. But the point is, for a slow burn to work, the payoff has to be worth it. And they think now, for some reason, now that we don't have to do this weekly release or you get canceled, we have these streaming services where everything's available all at once. We don't have to... They've lowered the standards of storytelling. Yeah. And like you said, they think that this is a boon when in reality it is a curse. If they're lowering their standards because we can take our time, people can binge the whole season or watch 3 episodes in 1 week to get to the payoff. What's the other thing that streaming provides? Options. Okay?
Yeah,
on TV, you watched what was on.
Absolutely.
On a streaming service, if I have to watch 6 episodes of boring... 7 episodes, really. 7 episodes of boring to get to the 8th episode, which was exciting.
You skip to the 8th episode.
Or you just go to a different show.
Yeah. Regardless, they're not. Those episodes are not getting watched.
No.
Yeah. And that's sad. I mean, and I don't know. Maybe it's just because we haven't figured it out yet. How to do this whole streaming thing. Because I'll admit, I like binging. Like I definitely binge shows. Where I'll be like, oh yeah, okay, I got to watch the next episode. But it's usually like really good shows. Like
right. What makes you want to keep watching the next episode if you're left on a cliffhanger?
Yeah, or if
you can feel that it's building to something. So like even with the streaming thing, you still need good storytelling.
Yeah, but like literally, a great example of this is that the new ER show that was on HBO, called
The Pit.
The Pit.
Is that the one?
Yeah, like it was so interesting because every single episode, like you get to the end of the episode and you're like, crap, like this is the middle of his shift. Like what's gonna happen in the next hour of this dude's shift? And it was so crazy to see how drastic. Like how many crazy things they have to deal with on a daily basis. But it was literally like, okay, episode 1, you kind of start out slow. And then by the end of the episode, you're like, oh crap. Like they just pulled in a gunshot wound, or like they just had a kid die, right? Like some little kid dies. So what's going to happen in the next episode if they literally just ended this one with these parents mourning the death of their little girl, right? So it's like it was those little things where it like tugs at you so much that you're like, I've got to see more of this because it was so so intricate and in like yeah, it like literally drops you in the middle of it, and you want to come back for more. But it's sad to hear that Andor is not doing that. They've lost it.
This week's episodes were good. It was really boring to get there.
So I guess
hey there, Nick.
I will just say if we haven't plugged it on this show, The Pit was a really good show. Like I really enjoyed watching The Pit. Like it was really good.
I've heard there's some dumb wokeness in it too, but otherwise the drama is actually pretty entertaining.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. There was a tad bit of that, and I mean, you do because life's complicated, right?
Because
so there's little things
and also because it's in everything now. Like,
yeah, and there were things about abortion and things like that. So there were like these political sort of discussions,
right? But if the drama's good, you can still tolerate it.
Yeah, well, and it's not that it's like becomes intolerable just because they include this, right? Like that's never been our point, but it's like how they address these things, these discussions is important.
Are they bringing it up as a discussion to make you think, or are they telling you how to think? That's the difference for me.
Exactly, and I think that The Pit does the first one where it's like, hey,
great,
if this is something that
we should be talking about these things.
Yeah, there are points to consider. And so I think that's what I took from that particular show, at least, is like, yes, they do bring in some political and they bring in a little bit of wokeness, but it's like that's not a bad thing as long as you do it in a way that doesn't make it feel like you're shoving it down my throat, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so that's definitely a show that I really appreciated. Just the storytelling and the cinematography, directing, it was very well done.
Yep. I think we're done with Andor. More news. Peacemaker Season 2 is dropping, which is going to be very confusing because remember, Peacemaker Season 1 is not canon, but Peacemaker Season 2 is canon in the new DCU. But most of the stuff that happened in Peacemaker Season 1 still happened in canon. It's just not canon. So, that will be fun. It's so bizarre. Wheel of Time. Okay.
Oh man. Okay. We're getting into the weeds here. Here we go.
Narg is great on X if you're not following him. Very entertaining guy. So we all know that Reddit sucks, right? But this is the r/wat thread, subreddit, whatever. A bunch of people were permanently banned during the airing of Season 3, which is par for the course, right? And they kind of got in trouble for it. And now they're backpedaling a little by saying the only way that we will consider an appeal to anyone who was banned is if you grovel and submit. You have to link to... You have to guess. You have to give us a link to what you think is what got you banned. You have to explain why that violates the policy, explain why you won't do it in the future, and then grovel and apologize before your ban will be released. Because it's definitely not possible that people were banned for ideological reasons despite not having broken the rules. That's never happened. That definitely could never happen on a Wheel of Time subreddit. Oh wait, yeah, that happened to entire subreddits that got shut down. I forgot about that. So, very fun. But if you want to look at the actual numbers, it's not good. Last week and this week, the Wheel of Time Season 3 stopped charting. Which so it's now below Reach. This is
a couple weeks ago.
Episode 6 or 7. So Reacher ended here on episode. It was so 6 didn't have Reacher to compete with. Reacher was over. 6, 7, and 8 could have shot up, right? Could have been number 1, and the Reacher was still beating them week after week. And then we went over all those other shows were also still beating. So the only time it actually hit number 1 on Amazon's numbers, it was the number 1 stream show on Amazon, was for 2 days when episode 7 aired and 2 days when episode 8 aired. And that was only after all of the other shows had ended. And even then, during the rest of the week, it was charting below Reacher. It's still, right now, charting like 3 numbers below Reacher, which has been over for over a month now.
Yeah,
and Wheel of Time just ended. So it before it dropped off of the charts, it was following a similar trajectory to season 2, about 500 million.
It looks like that's season 1.
No, this is season 1.
You're right. Season 2.
Season 1 had a huge drop off. Season 2 was pretty consistent, and then season 3 started off the same and was slowly dropping before no longer being on the top 10 at all. So it's somewhere under this number, 470.
Have we heard if they've got another season green-lighted or not?
There has been no confirmation. There's been no renewal or cancellation notice yet.
That's crazy.
Which probably means it's canceled. I mean, if you're going off of the numbers, it should have been canceled a long time ago, okay? So, we know that it's under somewhere beneath this number, but it's not even showing up on the charts anymore, so we can't compare them.
Yikes. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Look at the performance for Reacher season 2 though. It's identical, or season 3 is the darker one.
Yeah.
It's identical to season 2. It was their highest. They don't have season 1 on here, do they?
No,
not on this chart. It was the highest performing second or third return season of any show they've done.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I enjoyed watching it.
And season 3 was identical to season 2. It also cost a fraction of the budget of the Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
They're going to keep pumping this out forever.
I mean, because there's not as much CGI and stuff like that, so that makes sense. Or costuming. Costuming's not as much either. So yeah, that makes sense.
Oh no!
And they probably stuck to the story.
he's appealing to Lenin. Yeah, all right. This guy's an idiot. He's trolling on purpose. He's trying to rile you guys up.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Communism has killed so many people. All hails. Let's take it from the top. You're gonna have to watch the VOD, man. It's been a night.
And we haven't even got to the good stuff.
Oh my, free speech, because we owned slaves. Yeah, so did every other country. White people ended slavery.
I mean,
sorry,
slavery. It's a completely ridiculous point. We ended slavery. The United States.
I did too. I watched Winter Dragon again. It's way better than the Wheel of Time TV show.
Winter Dragon.
Wait, is this like a fan-made one?
No, this is the Billy Zane. You know this, Jared.
What is this?
You don't, Jared. We've talked about this on the show. You don't know what Winter Dragon is?
It doesn't ring a bell.
So IWAT, formerly known as Red Dragon, is a horrible, horrible company. They're the ones that own the rights to, or at least they used to own the option for Wheel of Time, and their option was expiring, and they hadn't done anything about it. So they overnight got Billy Zane and some other guy, I can't remember his name, to film the prologue of The Eye of the World with Lews Therin wandering the halls saying, Ileana, my love, and then he has a conversation with Ishamael. It's 30 minutes of them expanding the prologue prolifically, pulling in some dialogue from later books, right? Yeah. And they aired it at like 3:00 in the morning one time on a random channel so that they could renew their option. You know what an option is? Okay. Jared.
Is it like the ability to keep the copyright, basically?
To make when you're making a TV show, or the producers, or the production company, or who, sometimes it changes who buys it, right? Usually the production company buys an option from the author, saying, "Hey, we're going to give you some money, that means while we're getting it ready, no one else can make your books into a TV show."
Yeah.
Okay. If they don't do it in enough time, it expires. You can sell the option to someone else.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I see. I just hadn't heard it called an option, so got it.
You've seen I know we've talked about this.
Is this the one that we watched when we were even speculating that the Wheel of Time was going to be made? And
yes.
Yeah, no, that one was really good. Yeah.
It's Billy Zane.
I didn't realize it was Billy Zane.
No,
maybe that's where this is coming from, because I literally was like, I remember
it's bad. It's terrible.
I thought we were actually kind of impressed. We were like, yeah, this is kind of impressive. And then it had to do with there was a little bit of Shadow Logoth and stuff like that in there and stuff.
No, it's just them standing in a hallway talking.
All right,
there's no Shadow Logoth.
Can you watch it?
What?
Where can you watch it?
Probably on YouTube somewhere.
Okay, I did find something on YouTube.
Yeah.
Interesting.
His mistake was not going far enough. Just stop interacting with normal guys.
Yeah, no, I saw. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
Yes.
He's making some wild claims.
You think it's funny, or you think that was a mistake? Because we did.
I wouldn't be surprised if he thinks it's a mistake.
Yes, they used to be called Red Eagle. Everyone hated them so much they had to rebrand entirely, and they call themselves IWAT now. It's CW quality, Winter Dragon. It's terrible. It's also better than anything.
It's the fan made one though. That's why I was like,
no, it's not fan made. It's not. It's Jared. It was not a fan fiction. It's not fan made. It was made by Red Dragon / IWAT so that they could extend their option. They aired this on television. This aired on television. They were trying to do a loophole.
That's nuts. Okay. I didn't realize that. Nowadays, you just watch everything on YouTube. It's just like, oh, yeah, this is... That's funny. Okay.
They literally threw it together overnight.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
They just went to some castle location and filmed it in, I think they said 4 hours, and then had someone whip up that horrible CGI the wheel intro. And they have someone reading "The Wheel of Time turns and time again," and then Ileana, my love, what are you, Ileana? And then Ishamael shows up, and they just talk for 30 minutes.
I love it.
It's horrible. It's great. I love it.
Well, pardon my ignorance. I will have to watch it. I think I have watched it, but I will watch it again.
He's been in a lot of sequels that shouldn't exist. Yeah, you should definitely watch it. It's great. It didn't end in, yes, that was the problem. They couldn't, they didn't have enough time or money to CGI him ending his own life and creating Dragon Mount. No. It was on FX. Thanks. Yes, it was produced in 1 month. They filmed it in a day.
Well, I'm gonna check it out right after this.
You should absolutely watch Winter Dragon. It's bizarre. So yeah, not looking good. Not even charting. And Nielsen was their last hope too. Like it wasn't performing well on any of the other rankings, and so like, oh, it's in the Nielsen top 10. Sorry, it's not even in Amazon's top 10. Where we should check up. Oh, let's see. Amazon. Let's go to Prime Video. Here we go. I don't want this. It's Mother's Day. TV shows. Where is it now? Oh, let's go. The Reacher, still number 1. Bondsman. I watched the first episode. It wasn't bad. It was interesting. The Summer I Turned Pretty. What is this? It's losing to AMC 60 awards?
ACM.
Oh, ACM. I'm dyslexic, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's American.
But it's still losing to Bosch Legacy.
Wow.
That's crazy. Oh, just under Leverage Redemption.
Leverage is a good one too. I've been watching some of that.
Have you been watching the reboot? Is it good?
Yeah, it's so good. Like
I'm tempted, man. I know we used to watch Leverage all the time.
Dude, it's so good. I freaking love it.
It's a very average show.
But that's why it's awesome.
It's just one of those serials. Like, oh hey, we got it. So the theme of this one was they are like con men, but they only con the bad guys.
Yeah.
So they're all thieves and bad guys, but they're only bad to the bad guys.
Yeah, so it's like a whole Robin Hood
it's episodic. Every week, it's a new bad guy they got to take down. It's a very average, stereotypical serialization, but it's pretty charming. Like the characters are really fun.
Yeah, like
there's some genuine gags.
Yeah.
There's some genuine gags that are great.
Yeah.
Hey, does this rag smell like chloroform to you?
Right? Like, yeah, there's so many little things like that. They have what's great about it too is like they play into all of those typical stereotypical roles like hardcore. Like they've got the brute hitman dude that takes in
they have fun with it. Like they know what they are. It's a pretty cheesy,
they got the IT guy that just happens to have all the tech that can hack into all of the software and hack into any big vault or whatever. And then they have the grifter that's the one that kind of leads them all and makes the plans and then but they literally they play into it so hard. It is hilarious.
That show was rough.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever jumped into the Librarian series.
Yeah, I like Leverage. You're saying Redemption is good? Isn't this the second time they've tried to reboot it though?
I think it's the third episode of the reboot. So it's the same reboot, but it's like the third season.
They've done 3 seasons of the Okay.
Yeah, this is the
I am
third season.
Absolutely checking this out. Because
it's really
I want it to beat the Wheel of Time.
Yeah, and it's got the same guy that's in the pit that plays the main guy in the pit.
They didn't get the main guy back though, right? The leader.
No.
So they got most of them back though.
Yeah, so all of them except for the main guy. 3,
and the black guy. Okay, so
and
these
two
are their new teammates. What?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah,
I forget.
But literally, they have the safe cracker, and they play into it so hard that she loves vents and ducks and
Oh yeah, no. As long as they got the blonde, as long as the blonde chick's in it, it's gonna.
Oh yeah, every time I'm just she's
the best character in the show.
Literally, every time she.
Oh, he died. They killed him off. I need
Yeah.
I should probably like.
I think they
actually, because I only ever watched it when it was on TV. I literally only watched the show when it came on TV at Jared's house when I lived there, and we would all watch it together. So I don't know the overarching story.
That's how you got to do a lot of
I've probably seen like about 40 episodes of the show.
It's so good. Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, so the reboot's pretty good. They take him out and they keep everybody else though, and like it's just hilarious.
They kill him off. He dies.
I know.
Spoilers. Why would you, Joshua?
I was trying not to say that part, Josh.
Okay, it's not going to affect my enjoyment of this average serialization.
I know. It really is. Like it's just like totally just.
That's the thing, though. You can take like a mediocre show and make it watchable if the characters are good.
Yeah. Like seriously, all of the episodes are basically the same thing. Like it's basically the same thing every episode, but because the characters are written so well, like it's just enjoyable to watch.
It's good. It's very charming.
Yeah.
And that's what makes serializations good too. You know, like, and sometimes you do need a show that you can put on in the background while you're like working on something else. That you don't need to like pay attention to the cinematography. You can kind of just listen to and watch in your peripherals, and then pay attention when they start fighting. You know.
Yeah. It's definitely one that I would recommend everybody at least watch.
I'd say it's above average. I would say the character work makes it more than it deserves to be.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's just a good wholesome show.
It's a good show, and it's Robin Hood. The show is Robin Hood in modern day.
Yeah, it's great.
That's it. Oh, Jason Lee, right? Okay, my name is Earl. Got it. I forgot who the guy was. Like Burn Notice was the only USA show that I never started watching. I was into Monk and Psych. I didn't finish watching Psych. That one.
You didn't finish Psych?
No, when I didn't pick that one back up when I came home from my mission. I just forgot about that show. It kind of drops in quality.
I still loved it. I finished it.
Out of all of the USA original shows, White Collar is leagues above the others.
White Collar is pretty good.
I would say White Collar is the best. Monk is a solid second, and Psych is probably number 3.
I'll be right back.
If Psych like stayed the same quality as the first few seasons, it would easily be number 2. But it got real silly. It got repetitive and real silly.
That's true. So I never watched White Collar or Monk. I need to go back.
I did hear people were talking about a Burn Notice renewal. I don't think it's like a thing right now, but it could happen. Burn Notice is the only one I haven't watched. I loved White Collar, Monk, Psych. Suits was pretty good. It gets ridiculous at the end. It massively drops in quality by the end. I did not bother with the Suits LA reboot. I think I started it and was like, I can't do this right now. And I didn't even finish the first episode. I watched like 2 minutes of it and I was like, I'm not in the mood for this. Suits was fun. Got really silly. It was a fun premise. I didn't ever finish watching. Is it Royal Pains? Is that it? The one about the private doctor who works for rich people. That one was pretty fun. I just wasn't like super invested in any of the characters, but like I would watch it when it came on. But I didn't finish watching that one. Yeah, Monk did. Yes, I thought it was really stupid. The Monk movie. I was very disappointed in it. I wouldn't watch it. Yeah. You could say that about any of these shows.
Yeah. most shows.
It was fun.
Covering
though,
any speciality.
Okay, he was a fake lawyer. That was cool. Okay, he was so good at being a lawyer that he was a lawyer without even being a lawyer. That is the best kind of lawyer, my guy. Okay. So, yeah, I never watched Burn Notice. I know people love it. I should probably check that out because I liked those USA shows. Did you watch Royal Pains? I gotta make sure I'm saying it right.
I
never seen it.
That was the doctor show. So it was Royal Pains. Yeah, it's called Royal Pains. The premise was pretty cool. He was like a super prestigious doctor working for a hospital, and one of their donors came in and was like demanding special treatment, and he was like currently like working on a guy like bleeding out, and so he doesn't give the rich guy special treatment to focus on saving someone's life, and that guy ends up dying. He's like, let the other guy handle the surgery, like he can do it, he'll do a good job, and he botches the surgery, he dies, and people blame the guy, the main character, and so he still has a medical license, but like he gets blacklisted where none of the hospitals will hire him. So he goes to the Hamptons, and he's like a freelance doctor for rich people who want discretion. So he's dealing with like rich people's kids overdosing on drugs and stuff like that. It was a fun premise. I never finished watching that one. So. Fairly Legal. I haven't heard of that one. Was that a USA show or a different show? We're only talking about USA originals right now, okay? I'm looking it up. This better be a USA show, or you're booted. Hey, what? Oh. Okay. I haven't even heard of this.
Is it?
What is this?
Fairly
They
Legal.
had 2 legal dramas on USA? Did this air during Suits? I've never even heard of this show. Now I gotta watch it. Hank Med? I never heard of Hank Med. What is that?
I might have heard of Hank Med, actually.
Again, this better be.
I watched it.
It is. USA Network. Okay. Oh, no. Hank Med is. Okay. His name is. That's Royal Pains. That he calls his practice Hank Med. His name is Hank. Got it.
Nice.
I didn't remember his. Royal Pains is getting a reboot. Was there a spin-off with Hank Med, or it was just all called Royal Pains? Well, now I need to finish watching Royal Pains if they're doing a spin-off. So, anyway, okay. The point of the story was, my screen just disconnected. Hold up. Wheel of Time sucks. Cool. Charles, you sent me this petition.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, it was you that sent it. I was like, okay.
I forgot. This is to redo the Wheel of Time, isn't it?
I was
Cancel the Wheel of Time on Amazon and hire a new showrunner. Yeah.
Charles, this is the Prophet of the Dragon. Like we.
Oh, is this?
Yeah, we did this together.
Oh, okay. I didn't have time. I was looking at this in my lunch break, and my break was ending. So I
sent me my own petition.
Oh, that's my bad. I didn't realize this is yours.
It's like, wow, I just saw this. This is really cool. I posted it on my YouTube channel. It's still, you could see the community post. I shared it before the Prophet did.
Oh.
He created it.
That's so funny.
Taking some of his credit. It was really funny. It's not serious. We're just joking around, kind of making fun of Malkir's King. These are our demands. Cancel the Wheel of Time or else. You also sent me this. And I'm pretty sure it's the wrong link. You said it in your email. This is an interesting article. One of the points is that the TV show is better than the game, and I kind of agree. Give them credit where credit's due. And the article that you sent me was The Prince of Acceptance. Why should self-love come at a high cost? And it's this.
You're right. Yeah, this is
liberal,
the wrong league.
woke. I don't like. You can tell. I haven't
This
read
is the
any
sort
of it
thing
yet.
you get
You
into
can
on
just
your lunch
tell.
break,
I
huh,
haven't
Charles?
read a single word of this article, Charles.
This was
You can
okay,
tell
yeah,
by
no,
the
don't read
artwork.
this.
You
Is a
can
huge
tell
waste of
by
time.
the artwork that this is going to be a slog.
It is bad. It is
Okay.
bad. I didn't read through it. I skimmed this. It's bad. It's like it's weird because it kind of goes into it's almost based, but it also doesn't have any conclusion. Like it talks about how she doesn't want to be in a fat body, but also says all the liberal talking points where they're like, "Oh, don't fat shame. You should be comfortable in your own body." But then like she's admitting, "Yeah, I don't want to be a fat person," and then like that's it. It ends. But yeah, no, this is the wrong link. That's my bad.
Did you read this article?
I did not read the whole thing. There's so much text.
What's the point they're trying to make though? Why should self-love come at a high cost?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like in order for self-love to
I
be
don't know.
good, it has to be bad for you. I was like,
It felt.
are they
pointless.
admitting that self-love isn't like a great ideology? That you should care more about others than you care about yourself? Is this based?
It might be based.
Guess what?
I didn't take the time to read it.
I think self-love
'cause
is
it looked.
stupid. I think you should constantly be improving yourself and telling yourself, hey, I can do better.
I think self-love isn't stupid. I think it's not a virtue. Self-love is not a virtue, but it is something that like you should love yourself. You shouldn't hate yourself is what I mean. You shouldn't despise yourself. You shouldn't talk down or think bad about yourself.
Right, yes.
But it's not a
That's
virtue.
good.
Like you
No. Those are two
it's
different
not
things.
a good thing.
Those are two
to
different things.
idolize yourself.
Self-deprecation is a different thing from self-love. Self-love is this ideology that like, oh, you should always put yourself first and treat yourself to things and make sure that you're in a good headspace before you ever think about helping other people. It's a bad ideology. You become your best person when you are helping other people.
Absolutely.
Christ
100%.
taught that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Happiness comes from service.
Yeah.
And you don't get true happiness from self-love.
That's why God never talked about loving thyself as one of the greatest commandments. He said, love thy God.
Love thy neighbor.
And love thy neighbor. Those are the greatest commandments. Loving thyself is
Well, it comes naturally. Of course.
comes naturally.
Right.
No person truly
It's not a virtue.
Yeah.
What is this? Is this a name? Is this a person's name?
No, it's I think it's a
Phentermine
drug.
helped
Like
her lose.
there's a
It's a drug.
it's a
Helped
drug
her lose
that some
100
people
pounds.
take to
Fitness
lose
brought her
weight.
opportunities she'd never experienced for sex enrollment. Were you reading this article? Why did you send this?
I
to me,
didn't read the
Charles?
whole thing. It was the
wish
wrong link. I
could
didn't
only
mean to
hear
send
the
it to
Disney
you.
version of fairy
But-
tale. Little Mermaid's feet bled every. What? They're like
So,
likening losing
she's-
weight. Are they likening losing weight to like the Chinese practice of shortening your feet? What's that called?
Yeah,
What's
those are completely different because losing weight is healthy. Now, of course, if you lose weight through unhealthy means, if you take on a tapeworm, that's unhealthy. You shouldn't be putting tapeworms in your body to lose weight. Because the whole point of this is she's wondering, oh, should I take this miracle weight loss drug? I know people who've said it's
The last
fantastic.
battle is maybe I should just start therapy. I think that's a safe bet. Like I think you're right. Foot binding. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I couldn't remember that term. You shouldn't love yourself enough to lose weight, though. But the title says like self-love should come at a cost.
Or just the price. Oh wait, why self-love comes? Why should self-love come at a high cost? Maybe it's asking like why. Maybe it's like, oh, why do I have to work to get money?
Why does self-love? Why is it so hard to just do self-love? Because it's bad. You should love yourself.
I think,
but that should not be your
asking,
focus or priority.
I think the title is the entitled question, like why does it have to be at a high cost? Why can't self-love be
easy?
Easy. That's what they're saying.
Vain,
I think.
because it's vain.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ultimately empty. If you love yourself, if you idolize yourself, if you make yourself into a god, your god is going to disappoint you. That is why it comes at a high cost.
I just love how this is completely derailed the discussion.
Yeah, what were you trying to send me?
I just
What's the
I was
article
just trying to
you were
send
you
Just-
already sent
just
me?
a-
I assume it was the Last of Us article, but you already sent me like 3
was.
articles about the Last of Us.
Yes. It was a Last of Us article that just goes over the differences between the show and the TV show and the game. And I just wanted to talk about 2 of them because I thought 2 of them were done better. The rest were ultimately
Well,
minor.
what were some of those that you particularly thought were better than?
Okay, hold on.
Do you
Grab my
still have
notes.
that then? You're
Well,
gonna
there's
go through your
more.
history?
There's
I
more,
don't think I have the link.
There's more gay sex in the TV show, and that's so much better.
That's not
I
one of the
love
things that's
I
better.
love watching Bella Ramsey finger her girlfriend. It
Well,
doesn't
I mean,
It's
it didn't
it
really
doesn't
show it.
it doesn't make
Borderline.
me feel like a pedophile at all.
It does though.
It was awkward, but
I didn't
wa-
actually
I
it
didn't watch the
show
episode.
anything.
I didn't watch
It's
the
bad.
episode. I saw the pictures on Twitter, and I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, no,
I
it
know.
literally didn't. It that was like as far as it went. So like,
It
still don't
is
wanna see it.
borderline. It is borderline, but it is borderline pornography. You know, there is still porn that is completely clothed. You know, porn does not have to be naked. Okay, that is, it is pretty much.
I didn't want to watch it. And I saw the scene where she says she's going to be a dad. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I
that
don't
was,
I
it's
don't
weird,
I
but
don't need to watch this show. I'm good. I know where this is going.
It's weird, but I mean, I think
It's a
there's a part in like there's definitely this
where's
this
your
relationships that developed. This relationship between those two is definitely developed where like, and I think in the game there is something about how she mentions she's pregnant or something like that, and so it's like, you know, it kind of brings up this idea of like the futures, which I think is the interesting part about this particular part of the episode, right? Is that essentially it talks about what futures might look like in this post-apocalyptic world, right? Which is something that is really hard to capture well in any story at this time period or with these sort of events. So I think it wasn't that bad. It wasn't too cringe. It feels awkward just because I think that's something that we're not used to, but I don't think it was too distasteful.
Which the sex? What are you talking about?
Like how they presented it.
This
Yeah, that
Oh.
was
okay.
dude. You know, if you freeze any
Okay.
frame, any frame,
Yeah. I'll defend the show in this.
Stuff like that.
The same point that Jared's saying. If any show, if you take a single scene,
it's
frame,
a good one though.
it is good.
that is a good one. I will say I did think it was funny. I laughed out loud when they didn't know what Pride stood for. I thought
that was funny. Yeah, it was kind of
Yeah.
like what?
It's ironic too, you know, because.
But I don't know if that completely makes sense though. Well,
I don't think that much time has passed.
yeah, I'm like,
Yeah,
there'd still be plenty of that. Like, maybe it would be a
I don't
prominent
know.
part, but I don't know. That was weird.
Okay, actually, I want to respond to Normal Guy. He actually has a question about whether or not gay people scare me, and I actually have responded. I am literally have an irrational fear about something gay. I am in the literal sense homophobic, in the sense that
Yeah, have you normal guy? Have you ever been sexually assaulted by a gay man? Because I have. It's not fun.
yeah. But I mean,
That happened.
That's different.
That happened in Mexico.
I'd be scared to let a trans or gay person take care of my kids. I'd be scared for my kids' sake. Does that count? But as I was saying, I do actually have an irrational fear, because one of my biggest fears is like my girlfriend or my wife cheating on me with a girl, cheating on me with a lesbian. And so I know it doesn't make any sense. It's irrational, because I think it'd be worse.
What was I wearing?
If it was
I was
dude.
wearing a white button-up shirt and slacks. Yes, and I was groped in the streets. Yeah. I mean, I didn't let it happen, because I'm a big, strong boy and I defended myself. I was asking for it. Yeah, I was wearing a sign that said, "Please harass me." So.
But does that justify it, normal guy? Are you saying that just because they?
But to answer your question, no, I'm not scared. They're very effeminate and very weak, and not hard to fend off.
Yeah, I'm not physically scared of them. Absolutely not. But no, I think that this makes Dina, just put her in a horrible light, because she said that she's got back with her boyfriend.
Yeah,
and
now she's cheating on her boyfriend,
currently.
And now
she's cheating on her boyfriend.
She cheats
while
on her
she's
boyfriend.
Pregnant.
She's pregnant with her boyfriend's baby.
Son.
She cheats on her boyfriend, and then Bella Ramsey assumes, "Oh, that means that I get to be the baby's father."
Yeah, that was really pathetic.
And
that
not
was the part
the baby's father.
Yeah. Because the whole time I'm like, why would you assume that that's the case?
Sorry, Josh.
Like, so I will say that was the worst part of that whole conversation, was literally she's just assuming that because she's pregnant, she's going to be, the one that's taking care of it. You're like, that's ridiculous.
Oh, it's so funny.
Oh, no, I would never say victims. Nope, don't ever just.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing. They're quick to call us names, but they're the ones that say horrible things.
100%. I think victims can be dumb. Sometimes you can just be ignorant if you're walking around in a sexy outfit in a place that's known for it. You can be dumb. That doesn't mean you deserve it.
It doesn't mean it's your fault. It means you increased your chances.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that it's not justification. That's never a justification. Assault, always wrong. It doesn't matter if they asked for it.
Did you want to say anything about this article? Because I didn't want to read it. Gender categories.
So this was just
because she's non-binary, right?
She actually was. She was defending keeping them a standard, keeping them as a standard. She doesn't want them to have a non-binary thing, and she said they should keep them male and female because it wasn't making that sense. But I shared this with you because she goes into her her history as a tomboy. She says she grew up as a tomboy, and then she realized that she's not a tomboy, she's trans. And I just think it's so bizarre that these people, they think that gender is a spectrum, but they can't fathom the idea of tomboy being a spectrum. Because she says, I was a tomboy, but I wasn't like the other tomboys. I was more of a tomboy. And she thinks that means that tomboy is not a spectrum. It's a very narrow thing, but yet gender is a spectrum, and that makes no sense.
But it wasn't that I was a boyish girl. That's not what a tomboy is. It's just a girl that likes doing
boy things,
less girly things.
Guns.
Yeah. It doesn't mean you look like a boy. It means you play with the boys.
Yeah. It was just I don't know. More of the nonsense that doesn't make any sense of their ideology. But I just thought it was interesting that she was defending keeping those categories separate.
Yeah, that is
male and female. That took me by surprise.
Anyway, this was fun too, though.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Oh, that's the guy from?
It's Viva La Dirt League.
Yeah, he'd be great.
It's right there. Way better, yeah. I know they mostly do comedy. I have no doubt he would be doing a better job as Joel.
They're pretty good at acting, though. Some of their stuff, they're pretty good at
it. Sign me up, please.
He's not the perfect casting, of course, but better than what we got.
You also wanted to watch this, which I think is silly.
I just thought this was funny. I don't have much to say. I just thought it was funny.
Tom Holland as the
This
Legend
AI
of Zelda, as Link.
Yeah, it's AI.
Look, I think
Oh, that's definitely from a movie.
that Tom Holland is overcast in things. He kind of has. He's kind of got the whole Pedro Pascal thing, where like, why is he in all? And the Zendaya thing. I don't know why he's in all these things. I don't think he would be a bad Link, though. I think he's got the boyish. He's kind of got that eternally youthful face.
Yeah.
You know, I think he was.
Yeah.
I think he was horribly cast in Uncharted. I don't think he's a bad actor. I think he's miscast frequently. I wouldn't hate the idea of him
bad
playing
casting
Link.
for Uncharted. I think he's fantastic in
I do hate
Onward.
this video, though. This video is really bad. And why no Zeldaya? Huh?
Yeah.
Why don't we get Tom Holland and Zeldaya?
Tom Holland and Zeldaya.
Whatever, silly. What was this last one? Oh, that was we were waiting for David to come back to talk about that one.
Let's see if I have more. I think Ellie is incredibly incompetent in the show, and it makes no sense that she's survived this long. I guess you could say, oh, she survived because she's traveled with Joel and with her group or whatever, but she's incredibly incompetent.
Oh well, yeah.
Right now.
I didn't see the episode. It seems like they've like done a 180 on her character. Like in episode 1, she was super confident and like, hey, I'm going to take care of these zombies, no problem. And then in this episode, she was like scared the whole time. Oh no, I can't. Zombies are scary. But I didn't watch it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
What specifically were you thinking about as far as being like incompetent?
Well, she just there's a tank in the middle of the street, and she just goes up to that tank. She's completely the whole time. Dina is telling her, "Oh, you got to be careful," and she's just practically ignores her, and she just goes up to the tank, opens up the hatch, and makes the massive, loud noise, potentially attracting lots of zombies. And just general things like that. She's just oblivious. And in the first few episodes,
this seems like a different character.
building.
This seems like a different character than episode 1, Ella.
Well,
Ellie.
okay.
What Ellie? Why did I say Ella?
I don't know.
Ellie. Let's go back to the any frame can look bad if you pause on the right frame. But she's I don't like her.
She wasn't
either way.
scared at all in episode 1. So why is she scared now?
I mean, that's fair.
To be fair, there were a lot more zombies in this episode. A lot more.
Yeah, I wasn't able to watch their stream, but it looked good. I want to hear him talk about Japan.
Well, I think you've definitely brought up a good point. And I will agree too, Charles, that yes, there were some points where I was like, you're entering into this new city and you're not cautious at all. Like, especially since you know that the wolf the wolves are there, right? Like, you should be very cautious. Just in case you happen upon any of them, right? Like, you should be taking it a little bit more cautious. And I agree that that's kind of what I thought about a lot of this episode. And even if it weren't for the wolves, like, yeah, like you can still assume that there's probably going to be some sort of zombie presence around. And so especially and they did do it where like, hey, she accidentally made a big loud noise and they were afraid. They're like, oh shoot, like someone's going to come get us. But even then, like, they should have been more cautious after they'd made the loud noise to be like, okay, like someone could have heard that. We just don't know. Right. Like, so yeah, I agree that definitely is true. And I'll give you that one for sure. I don't think I would say that she was necessarily incompetent though. I just think there was some logic as to her her actions, as far as her assumptions, I should say, as far as her assumptions going into the city. Um, I would also add too, Alan, that when you mentioned this definitely does seem a little different. Like,
Mhm.
I think this might be more of like she's afraid for Dinah, right?
But
Like,
it was the same. But it was them in episode 1.
Well,
Oh,
in episode one,
We don't.
Yeah.
We're so awesome. We don't need no man. We're not scared of anything. It was them doing the same thing.
that was many less zombies though. This has many much.
Okay, it's fine.
I
I'm not saying she
speak
can't be
English.
scared. I'm just saying
yeah,
Yeah,
I
get it.
it feels inconsistent to me.
I agree. I think there is a little bit of inconsistency, especially
Yeah.
since in the games you don't really see a lot of her face, right? And so a lot of it is like, I mean, except for there are other scenes where like she watches Jill die and you feel her a little bit more vulnerability and stuff like that. But like there aren't a lot of opportunities in the game where you're like, oh yeah, she's afraid of this zombie horde that's attacking, right?
Yeah.
And so you do generally get a sense of like, oh yeah, she can take on all of these hordes no problem. And that's kind of how they tried to portray her, especially in the first of these season. But I would just add that now she's trying to maybe protect Dinah a little bit more, and so she might be fearing a little bit more on that side of things. But it does.
Was this before or after the pregnancy thing?
This was before. But she still cares about her.
Yeah, no, but did she care about her any less in episode 1? I'm not saying there can't be an explanation. I'm just saying like it just doesn't
I think
seem.
If you want to defend it, you could say that after she saw Joel die, the reality of death has come to her and said, "Oh, we're not invincible."
That's the best explanation that I've heard.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's a good way to explain it. Yeah.
So that's how you could explain that, and I think that's not a bad way to take it. So I don't have a huge issue. I didn't notice that. I don't have a huge issue with it, but there are plenty of other issues. I don't like the chemistry between Tina and Ellie. I don't think they have much chemistry. It's very forced. But there was a line that Dina said, which when she was talking about how her boyfriend's miserable, she mentioned about how she hopes it's because of himself and not because of her.
I wonder why her boyfriend is miserable.
Yeah.
You treat him
There
horribly.
was something like that.
She treats him horribly.
You treat him horribly, and you cheat on him
And
with
someone with Down syndrome.
But this is the core issue with a lot of the problems nowadays.
Look, if your girlfriend leaves you for like a really hot chick, you're like, okay, sure. If she leaves you for this, you're like, oh man, I feel horrible about myself.
Yeah.
She leaves you for Bella Ramsey.
But as I was saying, a lot of nowadays is just throwing the blame onto somebody else. When they somebody has a horrible life and they throw the blame on somebody's fat. They're unhealthy. They can't do much. Well, they're throwing the blame on somebody else, saying, "Oh, you're fat shaming me. You're the antagonistic here." And that's kind of the mindset that Dina was portraying there. And I think that's fine for a character to have. It's a flaw in the character, but it has to be recognized as a flaw in the character, of course. But what I just wanted to point that out. That I don't think that they see that as a flaw in the character. I think that's what a lot of people nowadays are going to resonate with. That they just want to throw that blame onto somebody else. Because if she was the reason for her boyfriend's misery, then she could solve the issue. She could do something to make him less miserable. That's the idea.
It's weird.
If you're the problem,
she would ask that question. It kind of seems like she knows the answer to it.
Yeah, and that's fine. For storytelling, that's fine. You can.
Sure.
She's maybe trying to deny reality, and then she has to come to terms with it later. But like I've said for a long time, the best. Whenever I have an issue, I always hope that I'm the problem, because if I'm the problem, then I can also be the solution. Whereas if the problem is with the society, if it's with somebody else, there's nothing I can do. And you're, you know,
I don't know.
a lot of people nowadays, they prefer.
I think I
for
would
that
prefer
problem to
like,
be,
oh, if my wife is miserable, I would hope that, oh, maybe she has depression and that's something we can handle, and not she's miserable because she's married to me. that's
our gut reaction
I
because
agree,
it makes
like,
us feel
I
better.
agree with sentiment.
Oh.
Like in general, yeah. If I'm the problem, it's something I can fix. In this situation, it feels worse.
Well, yeah, but
I think it feels worse, but I don't think it is worse. That's the issue. It's the instinct of, oh, I wish that the problem was on somebody else.
Okay.
Whereas in reality, if you were actually hoping to fix the problem, it's
so you're the kind of person that has given your significant other depression because because you exist.
If my significant other is depressed, I hope it's because of me, so that I can fix it. Because if it's her problem, I can't do anything to help her. That's just the
male in you trying to fix everything.
Fair enough. I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix everything.
No, but that's okay. Those are things that you'll learn. It's okay. No, but
it's already gotten to that extent, though. Like, ooh.
Yeah, that's a good point. So in this specific case, I understand it. Obviously, you know, you don't want your partner to be miserable because of you, and it hurts. You know, the truth.
Well, I'll just add that I think emotions are very complex, and especially I think they're more complex when you're trying to figure out your sexuality. And at least I think this is kind of how the world would see the situation. I mean, I'm definitely not someone who has had to deal with these sorts of emotions and whatnot, but in trying to understand the headspace of those individuals that are, you know, they're conflicted when they're trying to discover how they feel towards individuals, towards the opposite sex, towards the same sex, right? Like there's conflicting things that occur. And so you may act one way towards a particular gender that you wouldn't towards another, right?
Right.
And so I think that there's a lot of complexity in that. And so like just to say that she's horrible, like I think is definitely not appropriate.
I wasn't saying she's horrible. She was saying she's horrible.
Because I think that she's trying, like they're trying to portray that she's going through these complex emotions of trying to understand who she is, right? Like even with the conversation that they had when they were in the tent and she was talking about how she's like, oh, come on, you're gay. Like you can tell me if I'm a good kisser because I need to be a good kisser for my boyfriend, right? Like, so she's still trying to like figure out these like complicated feelings.
Yeah.
At least that's how they're trying to portray this. I think.
I just
and
love
I can
that
sympathize with those
that's
feelings.
What's left
well.
for the show is it's going to be girls talking about their lesbian feelings instead of zombie apocalypse. Like that's what.
I don't know if it needed
that's
to be
why I didn't watch this episode. I'm like, I don't want to watch.
But
domestic violence. I want to watch violence.
If I recall correctly, I think something happens to Dinah. So there's like.
I'm pretty sure she dies, yeah.
Yeah, so like I think they're also trying to build up this sort of connection, kind of like they do with Joel.
Okay, like, yeah.
Okay,
I don't think she dies. If I remember correctly, she leaves Ellie because she's obsessed with. She leaves because Ellie is obsessed with revenge.
Like, but something happens where she's not in the story anymore, right? Where she gets because that's the thing. I'm like, I don't think she dies. Because they already killed off Joel, so I don't think she dies. But like, I think she does get to this point where she's not with Ellie, and so I think they're trying to kind of get to this point where they're building this bond, and then maybe something will happen that they're like, oh, you know what, we have to end this. So I think there's a little bit of that's going on.
I just don't think it's interesting.
When in the game, when that happens. Because when Ellie finally comes back and sees that Dinah has left with their child, it is emotionally damaging because you know it is
with their child. It's not her child.
I know. I air quotes. Air quotes. They're raising them together. It was an impactful moment because she comes back. They're gone, Ellie tries to pick up the guitar and play it, but she's missing her finger, so she can't play as well. And it's like, oh, because of my obsession with revenge, I've lost my family. I've lost the one thing that I had that connected me with Joel, which is the guitar. Yeah. And it was an impactful scene. The problem with it is the game had many issues that made it problematic, and the show is not worth. It's not. I don't like watching lesbian romances. I don't like them. They're not. It's just disturbing. That's my first issue.
I don't even have a problem with that.
And there's so many other issues with the show and the game.
I don't think the characters themselves are interesting. I don't think Bella Ramsey can emote, and I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not interested
in her. Dina's cool, but Bella Ramsey is the worst part of the whole show.
She's a much better actress.
Yeah. I think Dina's definitely doing a much better job at her character development.
She's not bad.
I would agree though that I'm not a huge fan of
Shane
Bella, but I think that they're trying their best to work the story in a sense that like.
Didn't you ask the same question
last
week?
You didn't actually answer it last time though.
Oh, we did.
I did not pass my test. Sorry. So I gotta take it again.
What test was this?
If you want, Jared, we could do like an easier test on stream for you if you want.
Yeah. Would it still count?
I don't know. Maybe it might boost your confidence if you can pass our test.
Okay.
Here, okay. In the next 2 minutes, draw me a house, please.
Oh, okay. Give me a second.
Okay. And maybe 2 minutes is too.
Oh no. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm trying to get licensed as an architect. So I have to take the test to get licensed. Yeah.
Well. Yeah. Sorry to hear it, but
you have to take multiple tests. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to take 6 tests to get licensed, and they're all about 4 hours long. So, yeah, that's my test.
I couldn't pass it.
Do you already know when you're taking it again, or?
It should be maybe next month, end of this month, maybe next month. We'll see.
All right, time's up. Do you have your house?
Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me do this. It's a model. It's not a sketch. It's a model. So there you go.
Hey,
I'm sorry, Jared. The answer we were looking for was this. Sorry about
the
that.
rainbow. The rainbow had to be
included.
That's tough break. We were trying to make things easier for you, boost your confidence. Backfired on us.
I'll keep studying, I guess.
Yeah.
You'll pass. You'll do good.
I think what we take away is that there are some minor issues with the show, but the biggest issue overall is Bella Ramsey. If they switched out the actress, awful. It would be an okay show. Yeah. It would be watchable and enjoyable.
I think they need to swap out Joel too, but
I think so too, to make it better, 100%. And obviously, there's plenty of other.
But it would be passable with a different actress for Ellie. It would be. It would be right. Exponentially better. I think it would be a perfect show if it was a different Joel and a different Ellie. It 100% needs a different Ellie.
100%.
And it's not just her acting too. It was the writing. The writing for her character in season 1 was abysmal. She was insufferable the entire time. And I don't know if that was a choice made by the actress or if that was the actual dialogue that she was given, but or the direction she. Again, is it her choice? Is it the director telling her to act like a complete dick the whole time? Like, I don't care for her. I don't care about her character.
About the first of this season?
No, I'm talking about season 1. It's been worse in this season. She's been even worse. She's horrible to everyone.
Well, because she fits generally with the character in the games.
I've seen comparisons. It's pretty different.
No,
I've seen like the scene for scene comparisons.
I mean, not quite.
Thanks for the super chat, Jerry.
I'll admit, in the second game, she's pretty ruthless and she is pretty callous towards a lot of people. So maybe I would say that the second game, she's more accurate to the second game, but in the first game, she's a sweet little girl who's lovable.
The second game
100%.
is
The second
also
game
dumb.
is bad.
Okay.
But in the first
she
game,
does have some
you'll love her. She's
hardness
sweet
to her.
Yeah.
She does have a hardness, but that's not a not a annoying brat. There's a difference between a hardness and an annoying brat.
That's how the strong female character is just a bad person now. Like instead of being actually strong or being interesting, they want them to act like men.
100%.
It doesn't work.
She was a fantastic, strong female character.
But
in the game
like, even then, that's not how men act. It's a caricature of how they think we act.
Yes.
It's bizarre. I've used bizarre too many times this episode. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's asinine.
It's asinine. That's a good one. It's it's retarded.
Retarded.
So, calculate the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow, please, Jared. Let's go.
3. No, I mean 4.
Do we cover it all? Oh no, we haven't talked about the only good thing that I watched.
One last thing.
We gotta talk about the rehearsal, but David didn't like this episode, and so I was really looking forward to fighting with him.
Was gonna get on, yeah.
What?
He
didn't like it?
He was like, "Oh no, this episode was weak." I was like, "David is a dumb.
No,
he's a
this
big
episode
idiot."
Was wild.
So if he's I assume we're just not getting him, but please drag him next episode. He didn't like this episode of the rehearsal. How bizarre! How bizarre! Thanks, Justin.
So here's the thing. He mentioned in the first episode. Well, Charles, you said you had one more thing you wanted to say about.
Oh, I guess it's not super messy. I was just going to talk about how.
Mark, this is not your best joke. This is a big stretch. Ass is 9.
Out of 10? I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Okay. You guys are all watching the rehearsal, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I'm watching it.
This episode.
Wait. Charles had something else he wanted to say about.
It wasn't important.
Oh,
I was just going to go into the reveal
listening.
of her bite. I did think it was good in the show because in the game they go into the spores area and she has to take off her mask. Like she loses her mask and Dina's trying to give her.
This is her showing.
Like, no, it's fine.
This is Dina finding out that she has been bitten.
Yeah.
And then I assume
because they only have one
in
mask,
the show,
so she has to take it off to give it to Dina.
That's how it is in the game, and it's all right.
So she's explaining, "Hey, I'm immune."
Show.
Yeah.
Yes, I did like it in the show a little bit better.
Yeah,
because
it looks like the troll gave up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like he only had 3 YouTube accounts, so he's probably creating a 4th one.
But in the show, like they're chasing after them, and I actually like the way they set it up, where like they're trying to go through the little bars, the swinging doors, the bar gate, and Dina gets stuck, and a zombie comes up, and Bella or Ellie throws her hand in there, to grab the zombie's face and push her away, and she gets bit in the process, and I thought that's good. She's trying to protect her friend or her lover, whatever. And I thought that was really good. And then Dina's reaction as well was, okay, well, I got to shoot you. You're going to be a zombie now. And she's untrustworthy. In the game, she kind of immediately trusts and kind of brushes to the side. Whereas it was kind of impactful.
Yeah.
And then it led into the trusting regarding pregnancy as well. Because she had revealed the secret about her. So then Dina was like, okay, well, I'm going to tell you my secret. I'm pregnant. And I thought it was cool.
The fact, though, that Bella Ramsey is like the only immune person and she's not having her own kids is crazy.
Oh, yeah. She's not passing it on? That's another... Whoa, I didn't even think about that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing, too, that I thought was ridiculous about this particular episode, is at the very end, it shows this one zombie that it starts to show like the spores like come out of it, and now it's like, oh, it's evolved to the point where now it's in the air, and now the spores are going to kill you. And I'm like, guys, that was like that's how it should have been in the first place.
That hasn't been the case.
Yeah, the show had decided they didn't want the airborne virus. That's why they changed the scene that we talked about. They decided they didn't want the air. I didn't notice that though.
But
Yeah,
they're
so
it's just going to wipe out like everyone.
They specifically were like, "Oh yeah, it's airborne now."
Oh, I didn't.
And I was like, "Guys, why?"
That's dumb.
Yeah, so that was a little.
It gives the season something because they have only
the
lesbian
dumbest.
sex.
What I think is worse than that is the whole reason that the town got swarmed in episode 2, right? Or no, episode
2, 3.
Yeah, it was 2. Yeah.
2. Yeah, it's 2.
Episode 2. Was ridiculous. They're trying to say, oh, the zombies have evolved to the point where they're smart now, and they're bundling together so that only the outside layer of zombies gets frozen to death.
Yeah.
And the rest appear.
Yeah.
And
What? That's all right.
how did and you get the scene where they're frozen in the ice and they start falling through the ice and popping up through the ice and they're they're chasing. Yeah. How on earth did they get there?
I assume that they were traveling and then the snow came.
They patrol every single day on horseback. And
so that's what they're saying is that they were...
And you're telling me an entire horde of zombies got that close to the town undetected and then got snowed on and frozen over, and then only now decided to go and attack the town? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
unless they were tunneling through the snow.
You might have a point, but what they were saying is that they had been patrolling, but they had missed that there were zombies because they were hidden under the snow. However, if they
how did they get under the snow, Charles?
You have a point there.
This is Jackson Hole, Wyoming. It's not a land of eternal winter. I've been there several times. It does snow in the winter.
Yeah, you have a point. That's not explained.
How could you get a herd to that location without being detected and then have it snow on top of them and have them still be undetected for all winter, I guess? I don't know. Because the next episode, it's like springtime and all the snow's melted. Actually, not even in the next episode. There's like a scene in episode 2 where like Joel is talking to the therapist but they're watching like a baseball game and there's no snow in that scene. It's like springtime in that scene outside. But there's outside the city, it's all snow. I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't notice that. I didn't think much of it. I think it's a minor plot hole. Because I still think it's cool. I'm willing to forgive
which
that.
One? Are you talking about the baseball scene or the herd scene? Because
the herd scene.
I agree. I think the baseball scene is a minor plot hole I don't care about too much. I think the other one is a massive plot hole that's asinine.
I don't know about that. I'm willing to forgive that because it was a cool.
It's not. But it doesn't make any sense.
It almost makes sense. That's the thing. I agree.
Give me a scenario where that's possible.
I agree. It's a plot hole. It's a plot hole. I think it's a minor plot hole that is ignorable because it was cool.
In July. Yeah, no, I'm not saying it doesn't snow in Jackson Hole. I'm saying it's not an eternal winter where like... Also, if it snowed in July, it also melted real quick. I'm from Utah, or I live in Utah. I'm not from here. I know what it's like, okay? It doesn't make sense that a horde got that close and then hunkered down for the winter. Because that implies that they didn't get there in the wintertime. They got there before the winter, when it would have been easier to patrol.
I
And
don't
a
know, maybe
horde just showed up
So-
and then got buried in the snow. It doesn't
Maybe
make any
That's the
sense.
issue.
burrowed in or
With-
underneath them or something like that.
Maybe you could say
They were
that they did
tunneling
travel
through the frozen snow.
Yeah.
Maybe they did travel through the snow. Maybe they arrived just like before, like during the snowstorm, and they huddled together.
No, I don't know if
Thank
that's
you.
plausible.
Thank you, Joshua.
The
I don't know
only
why,
I
I don't know
agree.
why
I
some
here's-
people on the show
maybe
are still
burrow
trying to
underneath.
defend this.
It's a plot hole. I'm saying it's a minor plot hole that
That's
I'm
not a
willing to
minor
ignore
plot hole.
because
That
it's-
is a massive gaping plot
no, because it's
That-
not.
that
It's
is-
not an overarching season issue. It's an episode
right.
issue.
It's pretty important to the plot, and the plot doesn't happen if that doesn't exist.
Yeah, I would
But
say
that's the thing. That's the thing.
issue-
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
They could have easily had a similar threat without introducing something stupid. The
Yeah.
fact that it's trivial makes me more upset.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to explain something like, hey, how could they survive in the snow the whole time? And so I think they're like trying to explain that away. And because
But
the
but
thing is, in
but
the
then
game,
that
like,
then
there are
okay,
hordes,
if that's
like,
if it's a horde that is traveling towards the city, then it would be a mound on top of the snow. That like slowly every day they get out and they get a little bit closer and then they get covered. But they're buried underneath the snow.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was weird.
I want to see if I can find
Yeah.
this baseball scene.
But
Because that's not how it is in the game. The game, they show up. There is a huge horde that attacks them and causes them to run into the buildings. But that's the thing. In a game like that, you never really have to explain, oh yeah, this is why the horde is still here.
Right.
It's just-
In a TV show,
And
they
the game
wouldn't
doesn't
have
have
to
to
explain that either.
exactly
It's a horde that showed up.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I think that's what I kind of feel happened is they're like, oh, we have to explain why there's this big horde here. Instead of
But
just
their
saying, maybe
explanation
they were
is
in the town, maybe they were in
stupid.
the buildings, right, and like surviving in the buildings until now, and then it's like, why did they have to be buried under each other? I don't know.
yeah,
Was it episode
I
3?
think it's almost cool. I think it's an almost cool explanation. But I think they should have changed different. They should have made a mound of snow, some sort of other explanation that justified it better. But I liked
Maybe
it.
it's-
But the other issue with that is that it also doesn't explain why they attacked the city because they were chasing after Abby,
Yeah.
and then they were chasing after
And
Joel.
then they're like, oh
and
no, let's
Abby.
go to the city instead.
And
Yeah.
then for no reason. And if they just showed, that could easily fix with just them turning their heads to the big bright city with the noise or whatever, and they start going that direction. But they don't show that. They just show them chasing Abby and Joel, and then they're chasing the city for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah, it felt a little out of place.
Was it
But we
that's
can't
episode
talk
3.
retroactively. That was forever ago. We got to talk about more recent stuff.
Sorry, what?
Yeah. I think we're done talking about Last of Us. And
No one was
finished.
watching it when I was watching it. Okay, so is it in episode 3? I'm trying to find
Yeah.
the baseball scene. Was it in episode 3?
The-
After
Are you
Joel's
talking
dead?
about?
It's a scene with
There's-
Joel's therapist, and she's watching people play baseball.
Oh yeah,
Yes, that's episode 3. That's Joel's brother who's talking to her,
Okay,
not Joel.
it's springtime.
yeah.
Yeah, because they do a time jump at the beginning. But okay, that's the other thing. Why was Bella Ramsey in the hospital? She got like punched in the gut, and that's pretty much it.
How this much time has passed?
Yeah, because
The winter is Bella Ramsey was in the hospital for all of winter, and
Forgetting
Yeah.
punch this time.
it's now summertime.
in the gut. It made no sense.
But I'm pretty sure they were still showing it was snowy in like a previous scene, and then it wasn't.
I don't
The
remember
beginning
it
of
in
the
that.
episode is they
Maybe.
the time.
No, I could be wrong. Maybe all the snow's gone. Yeah, you're right. Okay, all the snow's gone.
Yeah, it's all gone.
I wasn't paying 100% attention, if I'm being 100% honest. The show is very boring.
The first 3 episodes were very boring.
So.
Other than the very ending of episode 2 with the zombie attacks and death.
Nice. Montana's nice. Wyoming is beautiful. Jackson Hole's beautiful. It is a beautiful place.
It is. All right, I think we should talk about rehearsal.
The rehearsal, baby. Oh
yeah.
I don't get why. Okay, I get why he may have a hard time with this episode because there are some definitely.
What did he say? What did he say?
Moments in this episode.
What did he say?
It was hard to watch.
Hold on.
But I loved it. It's such a good episode.
Well, I was going to say
Nathan.
Because he said in the first episode of this whole season, he's like, I don't know how I'm gonna address this issue and make it funny because it's supposed to be a comedy. And I'm like, well, you solved that problem because like
this episode was so funny.
What did David say? What did David say
about?
Was it in the group text where he said, it was fine"?
He said
Mark agrees with David on this episode.
He says, "Let's see."
I thought on the group text he was.
I can't find his message now. Okay.
Previous episode.
I was like live tweeting I was like texting you guys my reaction, like, hey guys, this episode's really funny. Oh my goodness, it's even worse. Oh my goodness, it's even worse now. Like this is a ridiculous episode. And he goes, yeah, it just got weird. And then I said I was laughing from start to finish, and all he said was, I didn't like it. Are you kidding me? This episode is a masterpiece. This felt like a season finale. Okay, except that they didn't wrap up like all of the plot holes. But like this felt like the final episode of season 1. Like on a similar vein of just like, how could the joke get better than this? He's getting breastfed by a giant.
Like choking down to them. He's literally like choking it down, and he's like,
when he walks in the first scene, and he's in the diaper. He's got the haircut, and he's in his diaper.
The little thing on top.
And I was like, oh yes, like okay. I will say, like the only complaint, the only problem with this episode is is that it's scripted. Okay, this isn't him. Absolutely. None of this episode was him pulling the joke on someone else, right? So this wasn't and that's the selling point of the whole show, is that he's getting other people to do these bizarre things, right?
Yeah.
And so this episode was scripted because it was just him doing the bizarre stuff to himself, but it was so brilliant that you don't care. And that's what season 1 turned into because of COVID, is he had to keep stretching the joke further and further, and he became the butt of the joke, right? Yeah, so the later part of that season got scripted too, and it was just him telling a stupid story. But the story was so good. He gets lifted up. He's built this giant room so that he can feel like a baby, so that he can role play as Captain Sully from birth to the moment that he lands the plane in the Hudson. He wants to understand how Sully thinks so that he can become a better person. So he dresses himself up like a baby in a diaper and gets put in a crib and has a giant life-sized mommy mannequin breastfeed him.
Well, here's the thing, too.
It is a visual feast, okay? This is like Darren Aronofsky crap. Okay, it was so funny.
It was bizarre. You have to talk about the dog first, because it's a perfect setup. He talks about the dog and how you get the clone, and in order for the clone to mimic the personality of the first dog, you have to pretend to make the scenario.
No, she is not. His parents walking around on stilts with their Slender Man arms too are like
fantastic.
Oh, like what is this? It was a nightmare.
This episode had 3 moments where I thought that he had gone too far. First moment when with the dog, he was importing the air
Yeah, literally.
Okay, but he doesn't.
I thought you got too far,
do
Nathan.
that. Like
I know.
that's the part. That's the kind of stuff where like that's the scripted essence. Like,
Yes.
but it's merged
There's
perfectly
no
with
way.
the unscripted stuff where you're like, wait, did he do this? And of course he didn't do that. He filmed them pretending to suck in air, and then they filmed blowing air in the dark. They didn't actually import air from Chicago, okay? But you believe that he did.
Yeah,
That's what's so good
And I
about
thought
this
that was
show.
going to be the bizarre part of the episode. I thought that
No,
was gonna
it
be the
gets
bizarre part.
way worse. It gets way
literally
more bizarre.
Pretends to be his child.
Well, because this
then-
is the thing. Because Charles, you're right. He's completely talking about these dogs, and then all of a sudden you see him.
If I can
shaving his chest. And
reprogram
I'm
a
like,
dog,
why is
then
he
I
shaving
can
his chest?
reprogram a human.
Why is
Yes.
he shaving his chest? And then the next thing you see is him walking in the door with this big diaper on, and you're
And
like,
then you,
I
oh no, you know
was
exactly where this is
peeing
going.
myself.
Yeah.
I was laughing
no.
from start to finish. Like the episode started off so bizarre with
Oh my God.
with the dogs, and you're like, this is ridiculous. I don't know
Yeah.
what does this have to do with
was
with
so
airplanes, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And that's what he's so good. He is the master of absurdist escalation.
yeah,
The
And
way
then
that
the
he
plane.
wove the story into these bizarre choices is flawless.
it was really
Like
good.
it's ridiculous. It's insane. And he's a master storyteller.
Oh, don't say master too much.
Yeah, that was weird too.
That joke was
that
weird.
was the second one, wasn't
I
it?
knew it
That
was
Oh,
coming,
okay.
and I was like, okay,
That was-
I get it.
I did not
I
know
get
that
it.
was coming. That took me off guard.
No, I
Can you
knew
believe
I
the
knew
blame
I
for
knew
that
what was
thing
happening.
We talked about. Oh no! Oh my goodness, it was so bad.
He switches out the actress with a mannequin so that he
Oh,
doesn't
my goodness.
get accused of sexual harassment. Yeah. Wow. What
That
a
was the
great.
third.
Yeah,
like,
that was a
you've
bit
taken it
uncomfortable. That was
so far. Oh my goodness.
But that's why it was hilarious, because literally, like,
It
there's
was
these moments that he's trying. At least he's presenting it in this way that he's trying so hard to get into the mind of Sully that he's willing to do these sorts of things, and you're like, it's crazy. What was the third one? So that was the second one. Charles, what was the third one?
So the second one was that he started living the life of the pilot, and then the third bizarre thing was that he did that in the plane. I was like, no, it's ridiculous. And then after that, it was tame, and he kind of concluded the episode. And I thought
Hold on. I'm at.
Yeah.
but wow,
Why is there an ASL version of The Last of Us? Can they not read?
oh my goodness, yes. So that was okay. As a sailor of the seven seas, that was the version that I watched for some reason, was the ASL version, and it was very
But like,
weird.
they can read subtitles. That's okay.
Oh wait, yeah,
No.
that is a good point.
I understand having a live interpreter is necessary, because if you don't have a transcript of what's being said, you need a live
Maybe some
interpreter.
people prefer a ASL.
That's nonsense. It's bizarre.
I don't know.
Now I'm
If you
subconscious.
prefer it.
I'm trying not to use the word bizarre, and I'm using it more.
It's strange.
That baby. That's not it. So this was a little bit
Sure.
different. This was a little bit different baby role play.
Yeah, very different. This.
You gotta watch the show, man. It's so good.
It was really funny.
Don't start with this episode though.
The ASL
Start with
person
Nathan for you.
actually has more emotion than Bella Ramsey.
Yes.
What does she
Yes,
do?
she does.
What does she do for the scene where she's? She go, bang, 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 bang. How does
person.
What's sign language for finger bang?
I don't want to know. I think it's.
Let's
Well, I
not
feel like-
speculate.
Okay. Cool beans.
Isn't it just
The
middle
rehearsal is genius.
Yeah,
And
the
this
rehearsal
is
no
episode 3.
Yeah.
Okay, how many? Oh,
I don't even
See, I'm
know.
worried that it might go downhill from here. Was this
I
too
don't
good of an
know.
episode?
Maybe, but
well, now
He's-
he needs
he's
to.
usually
That's the
pretty
thing.
good.
He needs to apply it to someone else now. Like the joke.
yeah.
It's funny if, for a little bit if the joke is on him, but the appeal of the show is that he's convincing other people to go along with the delusion. Like that's what's
Yes.
so funny is he's so. It's not charisma. He's not charismatic. I don't know how he does it. It's the psychological phenomenon of putting someone on camera, like their brain turns off. You know, like it's the. I can't. There's a name for it, right? But it's like when you're put on camera, there's a psychological phenomena. It makes you willing to say and do things that you wouldn't normally do. It shifts your personal like Overton window, and I know that's the wrong word for it, but it's the same. Overton window is the public zeitgeist, right? What's acceptable to say, but it shifts your personal boundaries. Like Jimmy Kimmel would do his like on the street interviews and intentionally make people look stupid. It's not because every single person he interviews is an idiot. It's that it's some of them are, right, but he'll get them to like, hey, what's your password? Oh, I'm not going to tell you. Okay. What's your mother's maiden name? You know, what's like,
I would
and he
assume,
gets them to say
though-
ridiculous things.
Yeah, I would assume that some of them. I don't know. I assume that they know what's kind of going on. They know that he's bizarre, and they've agreed. to do
Right,
these
but also,
bizarre things.
but also, like, if you've got no. He's pretty adamant that he doesn't tell people it's a joke until it's done, and most of the time he
Fair
doesn't
enough.
even do it after. Well, that was his like not motto. That was his approach to doing all of Nathan For You. Is he didn't ever want to tell them it was now half the time people figured it out, right? And that's when you get to like the halfway point in a Nathan For You episode where he has to do the rest himself. When they say, no, I'm not going to let you do this to my store, then he goes out and does it himself. Okay. That's because people caught on, right?
Yeah.
Or the idea is just so obviously bad that they don't want to ruin their business.
Yeah.
But okay, season 1 was 6 episodes, and it looks like season 2 is also six episodes. So we are halfway through.
Halfway through. Okay.
The next episode is called Kiss Me. And then Washington, and then My Controls. I don't know. I don't know what this show's about anymore. I don't know. Oh, Mark Clark watched Operation Avalanche. It was better the second time. It's a good movie, man. I
Good
love
movie.
Operation Avalanche.
I showed it to mom and dad. They liked it. Oh, I think they liked it. Anyway,
It's hilarious.
it's good. It's pretty good.
It's a really well balanced comedy and drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
I
In that same vein-
I just rewatched Blackberry. Man, that movie is hilarious.
Wait, Operation Avalanche is
Blackberry.
about the school shooting, right?
No, that's the Dirties.
No.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Operation
yeah.
Avalanche is the
Avalanche
second
is the-
movie. That's the one about
moon
faking the
landing.
moon
That's
landing.
The moon landing, yeah. Yeah.
And then the Blackberry is about the invention of the Blackberry, and it's so funny, man.
I need to watch Blackberry. But did you ever watch the
It's like the Force.
Fly Me to the Moon movie?
Sir, have you seen Star Wars?
Yeah, Fly Me to the Moon was pretty good too.
I did watch it. It was fine.
Yeah,
It was
wasn't bad.
it was pretty mediocre. I didn't hate it.
It wasn't
I enjoyed
gonna
it.
be as good.
I enjoyed the movie. It just wasn't like special. There was nothing that was like, oh, this is great. It was just, it's fine. Nothing bad about it. Operation Avalanche is way better.
I actually didn't hate Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum was very charming in the movie.
Yeah,
I like seeing him. I like seeing him in more like dramatic roles. I thought he did a great job.
Well, because that's the thing. He has been in a lot of shows where he's just kind of this dumb,
I think he's a good actor,
and I feel like it's definitely dumbed down his personality a little bit and his expectations, for me at least. And so it was kind of refreshing to see him in more of a role where it was like, okay.
Yeah. If you've never heard my spiel about Matthew Johnson, you need to watch every single one of his movies. And then you need to find a way to pirate his TV show, which is not available. Like you have to pirate it because it doesn't exist in a legal form, because his TV show is caught in limbo. It was created by a Canadian channel, I forget what it was called, that went out of business and didn't purchased by a different company, but like not all of it. And so like no one knows who owns his TV show anymore, and he can't get it back. It's really funny.
I love his TV show. I think
the TV show is called Nirvana the Band the Show. Oh, it's good. His first movie is called The Dirties. It is a comedy. It's a dramedy about school shootings.
Feel like a comedy.
It's a drama comedy about school shootings, and you need to watch it. It is a very good film. It's an important film.
Yeah. The caveat being is that the quality of his movies aren't the greatest quality. It's pretty make it your own like
DIY.
Yes.
DIY style. His first movie is the most obvious.
Yes, he registered. He was in college, and he registered as a high school student so that he could use their film material to make his movies. And he hired the high school students as actors to be in a movie that he was making for film class that ended up being his real movie. It's very meta. It's hilarious
and creative.
So he asks, he makes his movies for dirt cheap. That's what the first movie is about. And the second movie is about faking the moon landing. And he did the same thing to NASA. He told them he was a college student making a documentary on the moon landing and asked if he could come interview them about the moon landing, and said, it will look cooler if you're dressed in period appropriate attire. So he brought costumes with him, had them dress up for their interviews, and then interviewed them in character for his movie about an FBI agent who's sent to fake the moon landing. It is brilliant. It is crazy. And then to take it a step further, when he premiered his film at Sundance, Operation Avalanche, he used that premiere to film an episode of his TV show. The premise of the TV show, Nirvana the Band of the Show, is that it's him and his dumb friend who they want to become famous. It's kind of like Zach Stone. Zach Stone wants to be famous, right? The Bill Burnham show. It's he wants to become famous, and every episode is a different scheme, a get-rich-quick scheme to get famous. And one of them is, famous people go to Sundance. If we can have a viral movie at Sundance, we'll become famous. What would be memorable if we could sneak a movie into Sundance? So he used his actual in real life movie premiere at Sundance to film an episode for his TV show where he's sneaking a movie into Sundance. And the movie in the TV show is also called Operation Avalanche, but the TV show version of that movie is a garbage film that everyone hates. But then he gets... And they presented the film at Sundance in character as their TV show characters. So anytime they gave an interview, so they would do like a real interview and then throw in a line that they needed for the TV show. It's absolute. It's guerrilla filmmaking. The man is insane. He's very hilarious. And then they gave him some real life actual money, and he made the movie called Blackberry, and it's fantastic.
Do you know if he's making anything right now?
I'm sure he is, and he's not going to tell you what he's making.
Good point.
But I will watch it when it comes out.
Mm.
So
I'm gonna watch Blackberry.
It's great. Anyway, did we cover everything?
Is there anything else to say about the rehearsal?
Just keep watching it.
Wait. No, he's making.
Yeah, great.
Wait, this comes out this year? Did this already come out? He's
What is
making. He's making Nirvana the band, the show, the movie.
What? What?
He's making Nirvana the band, the show, the movie.
What's the guy? What's his name again? I forget.
Matthew Johnson.
The band, the show, the movie. It is.
I gotta watch this. I didn't know this came out. I don't think it came out. Is it out? I don't think it's out.
2025.
I think it's already out. I think you can. I don't know where did this release? Where can you watch the movie?
Does he have the rights to do that? Because if he doesn't have the rights to the show,
well, they wrote a season 3 and they never made it. I know they filmed most of season 3 and it was never aired.
it says that you can watch the show on Prime Video.
Oh, did they buy it? That's fantastic. That's great news. That means progress. That means he could make season 3 now.
Yeah, it's here.
It's on Prime?
It's on Prime Video.
Hold up.
Wait, the first season is.
Okay, so they're still working on it.
I don't. Oh, hold on. The band, the show.
I don't see it. Anyway.
I didn't find it by searching in Prime. I found it. You Google it.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a fantastic.
It's on IMDb.
Oh, it was okay. So it's been shown. It's not available yet. Can't wait. It's hilarious. It's a very, very funny show. He's a genius, and if they ever give this man like money, I don't know what he'd do. He's crazy. He's a crazy person.
Yeah.
Speculate on Dresden Files being on mainstream TV. I heard it. Is it? I'm pretty sure it's getting an adaptation, right? That's what I thought. Okay. It has been acquired by Neon, the movie. So, I doubt it's going to get a theatrical release, but it should be available online. I don't know. Blackberry was his only film that had like an actual like theatrical run. The other ones had a couple showings in small theaters, but
Right.
Looks like the Dresden Files might have had a TV series released before.
yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
But I think there's another adaptation in the works. Anyway, we covered everything, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, I think so.
New adaptation. Anyway, yes, Fox bought the rights, and they don't have a basic TV streaming service. So there's nowhere to stream it on. Okay. Interesting. I recently read the first book. I really liked it. I'm planning on reading more in the series. Haven't done it yet.
Would they go through Hulu? I know there's a lot of Fox stuff.
Yeah, Fox would go through Hulu, could, but yeah. It depends. Well, now that Disney owns Fox too, and they also own Hulu, yeah, it's probably the case. And Hulu does have its own original shows. as well.
Yeah, good.
So yeah, I'd say Hulu. I hope it's great. I hope it's good. I know there's a very, very passionate fan base behind them, and I look forward to becoming part of that fan base. And I hope that the show's good. Here's the thing. That's the kind of fantasy show, because it's not high fantasy. It is an urban fantasy. That's the kind of fantasy that you can make significantly cheaper.
Right, like that's kind of what I was saying with the Jack Reacher. Is like it's
You'd need a little bit
because-
more money than Jack Reacher for some magical special effects or
Yeah.
creatures, But,
but
you
for the most
don't
part-
need to do you don't need to like build sets for the
Yeah.
Dresden Files.
or
other
you
than,
don't
like,
have to worry
his
too much
house,
about the costumes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like the costumes are going to be much more easily accessible.
You can make that kind of adaptation a lot cheaper than the Wheel of Time so I hope it's good.
Maybe we'll have to discuss it when it comes out.
I would hope so.
Yeah. No doubt.
It's hard to find information on this adaptation, though. But I've heard people talking about it, so. Movie, or is it happening? It's a bunch of people asking if it's happening. So it might not be official. You might have just got us excited about nothing. People were talking about it a year ago that it's getting an adaptation, so. We shall see. We shall see. I've heard that the first 2 books are the weakest, and that starting with book 3, it gets really, really good. I liked book 1. It was a solid 7 out of 10. But yes, I have heard from everyone I've talked to that they get better after book 2. So I don't know firsthand. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll see you guys next week with the same old one last week of Andor. I'm not watching The Last of Us. And I guess there's still 2 episodes of Doctor Who left, but we get Murderbot this week, baby.
Hey.
Right on
See,
Apple
look,
TV,
everyone
right?
says it gets better on book 3. I don't think it started off bad. I know that Mark Clark did not like the first 2 books. So, Mark, why did you start with the first 2 books? It's so out of character for you to read a series in order. Just start with book 3, okay?
Seriously.
Don't come at me saying, "Oh, I didn't like the first book. Why'd you start with the first book, bro?" You never read the first book first. Yeah, Murderbot.
That's
Is Rick and Morty also getting a new season this month?
I don't care. That's what the next episode of Doctor Who is. They're doing the Rick and Morty intergalactic song contest. The next episode of Doctor Who is Eurovision in space. It's show me what you got.
Episode. Oh.
It's Get Swifty.
Get Swifty. Oh, yeah.
I'm super excited for Murderbot. That drops Friday. Yeah. So the next 3 months
Apple
are going
TV?
to be extremely busy, and we might have to move this show around a bit. We might have to do our Friday show or a Sunday show, because there's a whole lot of things going on with my kids and family this summer. But we will still try and do a weekly show, and it's going to be crazy. So yeah, Murderbot. Finally, Andor was supposed to be good, and it wasn't. So now we got Murderbot. Man, if Murderbot sucks, it's gonna be rough. But I kind of trust Apple TV at this point. The one thing I'm mad at them about, I guess okay. I'm upset about Foundation. I've already given my whole speech on why I won't watch Foundation. I've also heard that a lot of people really like it, right? So maybe it's one of those cases where, yes, it's not accurate to the books at all. It's a desecration of the books, but it can still be a good show. That's like The Magicians, okay? The Magicians, horrible adaptation. It's still kind of it's a pretty good show. and that, from what I've heard, that's probably the case with Foundation. I've heard most people enjoy it, despite, on principle, me not liking it.
I mean, I hadn't read the books, and I think that it was like it was a good TV show. I was enjoying it. Like,
yeah,
that's
what I've heard from most people.
In it, but it was still good.
Like mild horror shows. I don't typically like horror as a genre. I prefer suspense because that scares me more. I'm not scared by like a ghost, or a monster, right? I'm scared by evil people. So like I get more anxious watching like a good suspense about like a serial killer than like a horror. That's
why
I'm sure there are some good horror movies. I just don't love most of them. Yes, Mark Clark failed yourself by actually reading an order. So thank you for the $1.99. Sorry about that.
That's why I want Severance to not be aliens, is because it's more terrifying.
Is it a mild horror?
I really hope it's not aliens.
Severance? Yeah, I don't think it's aliens anymore.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Okay, but the point was, okay, it gets, Dresden gets much better. The point was, I've grown to trust Apple TV. Like I haven't watched all of their shows. I know there's some silly shows on there. The only, and I can't even speak to Foundation because I haven't watched it. It just, the idea of it pisses me off. That they're going directly against the whole point of the books. That's hard for me to get over, okay? The only one that's disappointed me is For All Mankind, which season 1 is like perfection. Fantastic season. And then it gets gradually worse and worse and worse, and I think I stopped watching season 4 because it just got so stupid.
Yeah.
But man, season 1 was phenomenal. So that's the only show that's disappointed me. I kind of, so yeah, I'm scared about Murderbot, but I kind of trust Apple TV. I think they're probably the best streaming service. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think in terms of like, in terms of deliverables, you know, track record, I think Apple TV is the best one.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Amazon is, they've got fantastic shows. They've got Reacher. They've got shows that people love. And they've got the worst out of any shows as well, with Wheel of Time and Rings of Power.
Yeah.
HBO used to be the kings, right? They used to be, man, if it's on HBO, it's going to be top quality.
I mean,
and
it's been a measure of that.
It's been a while. They've had a lot of duds, and the Harry Potter thing is gonna be, it's gonna be make or break. You know,
it's true. It actually kind of feels more like an Amazon sort of thing, where it's like they have some good ones, but they have had some pretty bad flops.
They've fallen from grace. Like you can't trust them anymore.
Yeah.
They not that they don't have good shows anymore, but you don't know that it's going to be a good show. I think The Last of Us sucks. And I think the rehearsal's fantastic. Game of Thrones pissed everyone off, right? Started off fantastic, then it ended terribly. So, they're rebooting the last Avatar. It's not a reboot, it's a sequel. It is not a reboot. Well, I guess, just so, yeah, kind of a reboot. But yeah, it's a continuation of the story. And they replaced some of the voice actors by race, which is dumb. They replaced some of the problematic voice actors. Uncle Iroh was voiced by a white guy, apparently, I guess. I don't know.
And that's a problem?
Apparently, yeah.
What's his race now? Is he...
Here's the thing, I don't really care about this fight as much. You know? And it's kind of... like this. It makes more sense as a correction than recasting. Than changing the race of a character, right?
Yes. I would prefer this to changing the race and everything about the character.
I think if you can, it's probably better to have a Chinese person voicing a Chinese character.
Sure.
I don't
However,
think it's impossible to, and especially, if it's, like firing the guy who voiced Apu, it was silly.
I think obviously the issue is if they're changing the actor because of an issue they had with the previous actor. Like if they're firing him because he's white, that's obviously the issue. But I think specifically for Uncle Iroh, he is an iconic character. He's one of people's favorite characters in the original show.
Yeah, he's
so the voice actor who replaces him has to be fantastic. Otherwise, people are going to hate it. I'm going to hate it.
But
he's an iconic character.
Yeah. But I am kind of on board with the whole. Yeah, I think you kind of should try. But that's not the hill I'm willing that I want to die.
The original show, I think they should have. Maybe they should have cast them by race. I think that's perfectly fine. I think people are having an issue with this because he was already the voice actor.
Right. Yeah. It's dumb. But anyway, we'll see you guys next week. Murderbot, I'm excited for. Crossing my fingers. Really hope it's good. I can't wait for Lilo and Stitch to drop.
Is that this week as well?
May 23rd. Actually, honestly, of all the live action reboots, like this is the one that makes the most sense. Like I'm not opposed to this movie existing.
Looks good.
You don't need a live action Lion King because it's all animated anyway. It's not live action. It's still animation. But Lilo and Stitch could possibly be fantastic. And Mission Impossible, baby.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try to watch that one.
I'm excited for it.
I was going to go to a pre-screening, but couldn't make it happen. So
I'm behind.
You could have seen it.
We have to.
Gotta bounce. Yeah, same with us.
Yeah,
we're bouncing.
I'm in a sci-fi mood. I've been reading too much sci-fi. I need to get back into fantasy, but all of the books that I have to read for homework have been sci-fi right now. I'm almost done with Silo. Then I'm gonna quickly read Murderbot Book 2. And then I'll jump on. Then I have to read Mark Clark's sci-fi that he sent me. So it does look fun, though. Yeah. Anything else? No. See you guys next week. It's been super fun. It's been real. It's been fun. And now it is done. Bye.
See ya.
And now it is time to say goodbye.
We had a great conversation.
It's been fun. But all good things must come to an end, and the goodest ending I can think of is...
Right now, this moment, this night.
So I guess we just say goodbye.
So, goodbye.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day. But come back next week for more outrageous bloopers.
This is the end.
Well, there's only one thing left to do.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If it's true, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, and you can join us along for the ride. And if you
consider joining Patreon and getting your name in the credits with pride.
I'd buy that for $1.